Welcome back to another day of Street Fighter League Japan play out here on the official restream. We've already had some ridiculous action and we're not going to stop. It's going to continue to be hot as we have even more action coming up. And I cannot wait to see what these teams do because I can't even tell who's going to make it through. My name is Cola. I'm Thriller Vicious. My brother is frozen in time for a second. We'll see if he's able to unlock the Toke Tomer and break through like Jotaro. But as he breaks through these brackets, we're going down the rule set here in a second. But you can see the teams on the left hand and right hand side of things and check out who's on the home and away side. Yes, that is what's coming back once again. And we'll also break down a little bit if you do forget how that all goes down. But once again, this is the fourth day of Division play. It's Division F actually now. And Street Fighter League Japan has only been ridiculous. We've already seen some sick results in the singles tournament. The World Warrior, shouts out to Goichi for that victory. We'll break that down a little bit later on with Division, DetonatioN FocusMe comes up. But that all being said, we're out here for the team tournament sort of battle. And that means we have Division S and Division F as are per usual. 12 teams, round robin, 6 teams, division. And this is what you get right here. All these teams up here split up. Now, how it goes down is the away and home side. The away side puts up the characters and players first. The home side puts it up second. That gives the home side a slight advantage, a little bit, to be able to see and deliberate on what they need to put up and strategize. But that doesn't always mean they get the victory. In fact, sometimes the away side will have a proper strategy no matter what comes their way. That means we're also going to get first to 2 and first to 2 and first to 3. And if need be an extra battle, that's going to be a first to 2 now instead of a first to 1. And for that one, you're going to have your last player that was on the bench now go up to bat. That's going to be a little bit different, so everybody in the team has to be informed and godlike and ready to take as many points as possible. We've already seen that happen quite a bit, and hopefully get to see a little bit more of that today, depending on who comes up. Another new rule is going to be that you can only use a 1 timeout per match, so only one time. We saw that used immediately last time. You better be well informed with your timeouts, and I do think my friend is on a timeout right there. Vicious, hey man, how you doing?
You know, things happen for a reason, I guess. You know, maybe it was me getting the get back from the last time, but you know, it is what it is. All jokes aside, this one's gonna be a pretty ecstatic one. Division F, day number 2, right? Everything really leads up into the playoffs, so every team needs to bring their A game. As it stands, we take the top 3 teams from each division, put them into a playoff bracket where they face off against each other to determine the best 2 teams from each division to face off into that grand finals. And it's a really coveted grand finals, right? Like, whoever wins that not only gets the prestige and glory of being title champions of Japan, but they also get to fight off against the other champions from Street Fighter League EU, Street Fighter League US, and that all happens at the stands at Capcom Cup, which ends up being so awesome to see because of the fact that you have a fully packed arena, you have people getting behind all the team tournaments, all the team actions. It really is an entirely different vibe, and it feels good. So, definitely something to look forward to as we progress.
Also, these players can look forward to a ridiculous prize pool. It's been doubled since the last season. Shouts out to all the sponsors that are coming through. We'll be highlighting that in a second. But there's a lot to play for, you know. Qualification to the Capcom Cup itself, the prize pool, being coveted as the strongest team in Japan, considering the pedigree that's out there. It is definitely difficult. It'll be well earned. And it's so hard to call. I mean, we've seen today's squad maybe not make the first winner they'd like to have. But again, this is what they're playing for. This is why they play so hard. Double the prize pool than what previously we had. 15 million yen in total. 9 million for first, 4 million for second, and 1 million for third. And also 50,000 yen supplementary prize pool for the champion team players. That's a lot of yen. I don't know what the translation is again in terms of like whatever currency y'all have out there. But that's a lot of money.
Most definitely, right? I think it just gives even more incentive for the players to have something to strive for, right? Like, this is kind of significantly changing towards like having more professional players be a part of Street Fighter 6, actually having more professional players in the ecosphere for fighting games in general, which is a really, really brilliant thing. On top of that, right, the sponsors also being a huge part of Street Fighter League Japan every single season is vastly important because they also throw down so many more incentives, just like we had in the previous season, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. We do have those incentives that are still pretty similar to what we had last year and some of our personal favorites as well. It's also funny to see Storm Kubo up here make that full transition. Funny in a great way, right? I personally like the way he is as a person. I think he's a really funny guy. I think he's a sweetheart as well. So seeing him like try to find his way into like being a pro player onto the desk now is really cool, because we actually had a conversation about this. It's like, I'm not really too sure what to do. Like, how did you go from being a player to a commentator? Do you have any advice? So I got to talk to him with Google Translate for about like an hour, and that was really cool to see him like finally step up. And he's also been doing a lot of the World Warrior stuff too. He actually did the biggest World Warrior we saw not too long ago with the 2,000 plus players, the one that Koichi happened to take down. So really sick to see. Also sick to see these incentives. Again, the Street Fighter League Pro Japan awards. Our player awards are going to be the following: Grand Finals MVP, 1 player from the Grand Finalist teams; Division MVP, 1 player from each division; Rookie of the Year, Drive Gauge Efficiency Award, and our favorite, the UNC Check, the Drive Impact Award. Each of these awards grant 50k yen each, which is a pretty damn good deal.
We saw a lot of unchecks over the World Warrior. I didn't get to see a lot of like the action and totality. I saw a lot of clips, a lot of people getting hit with the DI. So maybe people are just getting practice and prep and prepared for things out here at Street Fighter League Japan. But either way, I do like seeing the meta evolve and seeing things go down in the land Japan and League again. Emboldens these players, makes them even stronger. So when they go out to things like UFA, which is this weekend, or the offline with the World Warriors, they get even stronger. You know, they get that Zenkai boost, they get set loose out there. They become dangerous threats, like even more so than what they are. And once again, shouts out to Street Fighter League Japan and all the sponsors out here for putting this on and making these players more emboldened, giving them more reason to fight out here and giving them rewards too as well as the fans that are also out here supporting them, whether it be, you know, during their streams, before, after, things like that. It's always great to see.
And of course, you know, we've talked about a lot of collaborations that have happened throughout the years for Street Fighter 6. It's come to fruition now, right? In full circle. We do have our beloved VTuber group VSPO conducting a lot of the interviews with the winning team after every single match. So I don't know if you guys have access to their YouTube channel, their Twitch channel, but what have you. But they are the ones that kind of get the interviews going after each and every one of these matches. So be sure to tune in, show their support for a lot of their energy and efforts throughout the season. VSPO being a part of Street Fighter League is a pretty big game changer, and it's cool to see that trio talk it out and interview some of the players as well. A lot of funny segments too. I've been watching just earlier today some of like the translated pieces, so it's really cool to see like how many questions and how involved VSPO is with the current atmosphere of Street Fighter 6, and even more so within Street Fighter League Japan.
Seeing people outside of the FGC enjoy fighting games with us is always beautiful, man. I was at an event recently where we had a lot of spectators coming through that didn't really know much about fighting games, and they were coming through for other things, or just saw, hey, there's like a meetup where there are games here, and they're like, wait, this is why you guys are enjoying this. They're getting involved in the hype and now want to play fighting games. I'm picking up fighting games. It's always beautiful, no matter where it is or what's happening. I just love seeing people get into fighting games. Now, we're seeing some fighting games out here. Oh, look at these Titanic teams out here. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN is going to be the first match going up against DetonatioN FocusMe, who's on the home side to start things off. And these teams have switched up just a little bit. Again, shouts out to Goichi. He is on Team DetonatioN FocusMe, and he was the winner of World Warrior. 2,000 plus people, hella plus people out there. The biggest World Warrior, as you mentioned. And you gotta be feeling great having yourself on the home side, having Koichi on your team. That's gotta be feeling great.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like, he's in a very strong place mentally, being able to take down a full gauntlet of a World Warrior. Now, mind you, when we talk about World Warriors, right, it's not really that deep in regards to like how many players usually enter from like other regions, right? No disrespect, but like the fact of the matter is, if you have 2,000 plus players, that's essentially a major.
That's facts. That's actually facts. But they're going to want FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. Only way to start things up. The Ascendant, the Attendant, Tsubasa with the jury, and maybe a surprise pick coming through. If you watch the streams, you might know what it is. You might see it out here. No spoilers, though. The Fire Master himself. He's always on fire. He's always filled up with the air right there. Tormeshi with the Sim. Definitely a great counter pick sort of player. The explosive fist that don't miss is Johnny on the Marisa and Manan. I see him switching back and forth. I do like the fact that he is sticking to both characters to cover some of these bad matchups. The unyielding spirit himself, he and I on the Bison, having a better time than we had at EVO, a better time out here in the World Warriors and in Land Japan, getting more informed with that Bison. This team was part of the new kids on the block, but they looked very much suited for where they need to be out here in Street Fighter League this season.
They've done a couple of changes, like season after season, right? This team previously had Kakadu, and that was something that was pretty important to note going into like the finals of it all. But let's talk about the newly reinvigorated edition coming in from DetonatioN FocusMe. We talked about Goichi a lot, but let's get reintroduced to the rest of the squadron. Obviously, Itabashi Zangief is doing a great job as the leader, as the foreman for this team, both from a gameplay perspective, from a personality perspective as well, just showing off the kind of character he is. But let's get fully acquainted. Starting things off with DetonatioN FocusMe, coming in from the home side, John Takeuchi, the babyface trickster. I will never know how old he actually is, but I'll tell you what, he knows ball like an old man. Then the Jade Flame. Nauman still continuing on with flame-based characters. Obviously, Mai Shiranui will be his pick coming into it. The man who had just taken down the entirety of Japan single-handedly. It's the unprecedented Goichi. Then, of course, still the meal ticket, the Cyclone Commander, Itabashi Zangief, getting ready to command grab his way to victory. But I'm actually kind of curious if he's going to see the light of day, at least for the matchups ahead. They are on the home squad. They do have full priority to counter play and counter pick the established team, Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. Let's take a look at what the away side has for us in regards to their order and character selection and see what the counter play is going to be.
Let's take a look at what's on the menu and how this is going to be able to fight this out. You know, we have Sim on that side of things. Tsubasa might have that secret pick as we talked about. Who's coming up? Ooh, Mai is going to be the pick from Tsubasa. A lot of y'all know him for the jury play, but he's going to come through with the Mai to start things off. Johnny with the Manon. And Tormeshi with the Sim. That means you're nice in that extra position. That is kind of crazy. You put Tormeshi in an anchor position to be counterpicked by a Rashid player like John Takeuchi. That means that you must have something in store for the Rashid play. On paper, not a good matchup. You're putting yourself up for that. But we've seen in Street Fighter League sometimes it don't matter. They get ready for that bad matchup. They're prepared for that bad matchup. They're almost looking for that to happen. I'm very curious of, will it be biting them in the butt later on? I guess we'll have to see if that even happens if John Takeuchi goes up there. But I would imagine John Takeuchi would go up. But that Sim does stave off Itabashi. In the reverse of things, that makes him not able to come up and fight it out. He's on the gi for the Marisa.
Well, one of the biggest questions is, like, obviously starting off with the anchor spot is like, why Tormeshi, right? I think there's a very good reason why he's been put up in the anchor spot. Oh, I was going to go for the Mai mirror match. Okay, but it is going to be Nauman coming up front, which makes a lot of sense. I totally understand that you want to make your reserves for like the rest of the team. Torimeshi actually took down Gachikun over at EWC 3-2, and like those last couple of games were pretty convincing for the side of Torimeshi. If I remember correctly, towards the end of it, like it was back and forth up until the very last game, Torimeshi actually ended up getting 2 whole rounds against Gachikun at the very end. Prior to that, right, Torimeshi actually faced off against Junior, who actually ended up using Bison, but it lets me know that Torimeshi was going to be well prepared for a Zangief either way. So having Torimeshi as the anchor is a really strong call out against DetonatioN FocusMe's current composition with 2 other players, right? It really depends on whether or not Goichi is going to step up for that matchup, which I personally don't mind it, or if Itabashi Zangief is actually going to step up to the plate and throw something different towards him. But Nauman against Tsubasa, I do not mind this.
I don't mind this from a couple of angles. You know, the Mai mirror match, I think we see Nauman play Mai more in like tournament positions than maybe Tsubasa. Tsubasa hasn't had the chance to travel as much as Nauman has. And also, I feel like Nauman, when I went to his stream recently, he was playing actually the Ken and Mai match. Like he was kind of grinding that out a little bit. And he's like, it's not a bad match. If I have to play it, I have to play it. But he's like, the Jinrai is not too bad because the -5. Mai's 5 framer to punish that isn't really that big of a deal. You know, obviously there's things that Mai can do that outrange and out deal with like the fireball pressure that Ken wants to put out. But he's like, me personally, I think he's like, I was like at 5.5. It's not too terrible if it goes down to it. So if the mirror match does go bad, he's up to Ken to rely upon. He's grinded out for continuously. Same with Tsubasa. If things go bad for him, he can switch to his other character. But again, a My mirror match maybe a little bit better off because now I'm just have more time to grind that out in a worldwide sort of sense. But Tsubasa has been, doing some things on the stream every so often with the character, so curious to see how it's going to work out in Street Fighter League itself.
あとは本当に勝つだけだと思ってるんで、ここ勝ってチームにも自分にも
We are going to get the remaining interview coming in from Nauman as well. Tsubasa seems pretty ready. Nauman also sounding pretty ready for the My Mirror match. I've never seen anyone so ecstatic before in my life about that My Mirror match. I'll tell you what. But she's getting a lot of like high value games, right? Like even if it is the mirror match, like there are some pretty explosive moments within the set that are like, oh damn, like I didn't even know you could do that, or I didn't even know like you could catch a player slipping that way. So we'll see how that plays out. Nauman again still getting his interview underway. I honestly think that like Nauman, I want to say he might have the upper hand just based off of his current CFN record, right? He's been playing against a lot of different Mi's. I can't read the names off of the CFN. I didn't have the chance to check up against Tsubasa, but I would imagine with the amount of practice DetonatioN FocusMe has against Mi's around the world, they're at least able to confer within each other to be like, yo, this is what I've looked, this is what I've noticed, and this is what I think you should look out for, right? But Nauman, he was sounding confident, and in this interview he says, I'm really confident. I've been really confident recently. All I have to do is just win at the tournament or the league.
Pretty simple. Pretty easy energy right there. Tsubasa said, I knew Nauman was coming. I'm ready for this game. I'm the only rookie hasn't won yet, and I'll win here and get it going. Yes, he can. Push up with the costumes too as well. Tsubasa on the left, Nauman on the right. Let's get it. Harassing continuously. He's aiming for the drive gauge. Caught the backdash. And now the drive gauge all clear after that stand clear. See overhead, the blessing from above. And you see him resetting with the fan, the OD continuously with the DI right after it.
Makes a lot of sense to take advantage of it. An early drive gauge dump is actually pretty damn good. Like, seeing Nauman drain the rest of Tsubasa's drive gauge the way that he did was pretty impressive, right? That was within like the 75-second mark. But now Tsubasa, with all the momentum on his side, Nauman actually still has a chance because of the fact that he does have the enhancements, right? He's got a fan to throw and put between block strings, and also that pressure off of the OD. Exactly what we're talking about. Nauman covering his tracks with the roundhouse after the back throw. Tsubasa stuck in the corner. Not a lot of room to work with, but trying to find a way to thread the needle with that crouching jab earlier.
At that level 2, really get some health up with Nauman and cut through after that. Stan Pearson, the charge up fan, the overhead able to land, and Nauman taking the first round pretty dominantly. And again, aiming for the drive gauge is like the way to play against Mai. You take away that resource, it's less OD fans that she can expend, less resources that she has, and of course, dealing with this character and burnout is one of the worst. Ooh, actually anti. I cannot believe the elbow drop actually did that. Almost found the fan to Stan Pierce, able to land. Level 1, can I get nobody? Stocks up. This is the meaty back heavy kick though.
Huge, both very much so having the aura around them. Tsubasa being the one with the drive, with the burnout currently. Nauman with the drive gauge is everything though. Dash up does get the big bait. That should be all she wrote. Nauman has had so much control against Tsubasa. Even in the second round where he puts himself in the corner, he's found a way to catch Tsubasa slipping without, outside of the ranges where Mai would normally like to play.
Like the timings where he's throwing out the OD fan are like not what Tsubasa expecting. I think we're going to be expecting a character switch. Tsubasa, if y'all don't know, does play a lot of jury. In fact, I think the biggest tournament run for him was like last year during the Japan CPT, where he got like in the top 16 range or around that area. I remember seeing him on the stream like representing jury out there. I would assume that they're going to be a switch because that just was just too dominant. The stand fierce, the fan pressure, like putting gaps every so often there, it just made it hard for Tsubasa kind of find the rhythm on his side of things, get his fan pressure going or his burnout pressure going. It's all in Nauman's favor. Tsubasa, we'll see if we see the switch. I think at this point it might be better just to go up to a better character where you have maybe more playtime. And a mirror match is really difficult because you're not playing against a character sort of thing. It's like your effective range is their effective range. We talk about this all the time, and you're playing against a player more often than not. And someone that's more informed about how to deal with yourself and take away your tools is going to be better off, which we talked about. Again, Nauman having more experience fighting the Mi's, preparing against the Mi's, whether it be for the Ken or on the Mai. He's had more time to practice this out. So Tsubasa, a switch might need to happen here.
You think he's going to switch back to his main?
I think he has to. I think at this point, ride or die, to be even more comfortable in the matchup, and how things are going, he's gonna have to switch. Even if it's not good on paper, it's a comfortability thing. I feel like I don't see him comfortable in the mirror match. He might be more comfortable if it wasn't a my mirror match, but that's not what's on the screen right now.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of disclose it, Jury is the pick that Tsubasa usually goes for. We had seen him play that character over at day one, right? So I don't know if that's going to be something that Tsubasa is going to be willing to work with, right? He's still remaining on that Mai, apparently. But Jury would be not too bad of a pick, I would think.
Yeah, I feel like there are some annoying things that Trey has to deal with. Like, obviously, the fireballs have always been a problem for her. But having a low fireball to stop the drive rush pressure right after to make, you know, my player hesitate a little bit might be great. Also, again, if y'all watch Tsubasa ever, which you should, on CFN or wherever, whenever he streams, he has some great level 2 combos. He's like a complete package when it comes to like a Jury player. He knows all the inner workings of the character. He doesn't really spend a lot of bar. All the time he's able to walk forward, so just drive rush up and stand medium. Again, level 2 is a big thing for him. He's got really cool setups with that. And I feel like that would be a good switch. We'll see if he does so. Are we getting a switch to Jury, the main one? Or are we sticking with the My Guy? It's going to be a My Guy sort of deal. It's ride or die with the My. Tsubasa holds on to a new character.
Got the perfect parry on the charged up fan, pretty important, right? Tsubasa actually cleaning up on defense. Now getting these couple of throws is going to be so impactful for forcing the conditioning against Nauman, right? There's the back throw. Sorry, not the back throw. There's the back dash against the throw. Nauman's starting to wake up a little bit. No conversion off with a couple of lights. Tsubasa letting a little bit of damage off the table, and also the potential corner carry. That exact moment could have been such a big deal. Nauman now coming in hot. No pun intended. Kaguru no Mai. Immediately after the drive rush overhead forward throw. What do you do about this after you let it slip away from you? Tsubasa, he's got to be panicking right now. What's the panic button? It's going to be nothing. He tried to walk out of there. Not going to be enough. Nauman, look at that match point.
Aggressive start, delays a little bit. Caught him trying to go for the throw. Towards the corner we go. The elbow rush, get that Oki. This corner pressure is so difficult. That's why we wake up with level 1. That +1 to run after the throw, and the wake up super delays a little bit of Nauman's pressure, but not too much. The back dash after the -3 into Kage no Mai. The dash, the throw. All the pressure in the world with the OD fireballs, able to land the fans, and that's going to be it. Nauman don't drop the combo. Of course he won. Other helping, another serving of the heat for defeat. Nauman takes it 2-0 over to Tsubasa. He proved he was a better My Guy today.
Yeah, Nauman just felt like he was in complete control. Outside of like games number 2 start, if you really thought about it, like Nauman was trying to be as risk averse as possible by just taking a couple of those throws and then making an educated read of doing that one back dash. That single dissuasion of pressure, or I guess like diffusion of pressure is the right word. Immediately sent Tsubasa flying. I think there's a vast difference in what the defensive choices are like between Tsubasa and Nauman that really led to the big victory. Maya has all the offense in the world. Like that's definitely a certain, that's a given. Do not ever get that twisted. Nauman can easily weave up something nasty, same with Tsubasa, but it's just what you do with it on defense, right? I think Nauman was able to showcase that despite a little bit, very effectively.
Also his offense as well, like played around the minus frames you see right there after the -3 on the crouch fears. Doing the backdash, like Tsubasa was like, maybe you'll stay close and maybe like delay button or something like that. That just did not happen at all. I think you're right in terms of the defense. It was a lot better here from Nauman. The counter pokes were perfect in the 4 frames. And he just got more reward off of the situations that he had. Like there was one where Tsubasa, you pointed out, could have led into the elbow rush that would have led into Oki, into, you know, maybe a snowball of pressure. But those moments didn't happen enough, and Nauman able to take it very dominantly. Now we have Johnny on the Manon, or Marisa if maybe, but we'll see what comes up here from DetonatioN in rebuttal. Goichi would be good here, I feel, because I think Chun-Li does very, very well against Manon. It's obviously like a pain point for that character, and now she can like punish the overhead.
Ooh, Tanabashi grappler versus grappler.
Wow. Okay.
I like that. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this at all. I didn't even really consider it. Inabashi has actually played this matchup a bunch. I mean, the first time we'd actually seen the full demo of that between Japan and North America. Excuse me. was him versus IDOM at the top 8 of ACT, right? Now things definitely has changed since then in the realm of like how often he has to fight off against like any Manos out there, but I will say I think he's had a pretty good lockdown on how the matchup is played against Manon specifically. I'm trying to see if he ever had to like fight off against any other Manons over at like EWC recently. But I don't recall seeing him have to do any of that. I mean, yeah, as soon as he got into phase 3, he had to fight off against Blaz. But I can definitely look it up. I want to take a look at Inabashi a little bit closer and see what his current record is like against both Johnny and also against like
Maybe that saves Goichi for like the final anchor match, if it comes out of that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm maybe thinking that Goichi might go for the Kami, or maybe the Chun-Li's just ready for the Sim. But either way, him coming up is kind of wild. But you're right in terms of he understands the matchup to a T. He understands that the heavy kick, the racer is going to whip, that they want to play that button neutral. He'll do like jump fierce against that button. He knows if it gets close enough for the stand fierce, he can let that rock. It's harder for her to contest. She's got some good buttons in the neutral. She has the ability to sweep that stand fierce. But when you're in that mid to close range, it won't be happening nearly as much. So for band to band, you know, there's some things that Gift can do. Obviously, Manon can be very annoying in the footsie department, but when she gets knocked down, it is definitely death's door. She has to wake up level 1s, but someone like the Gambler's going to understand when those reversals are going to want to come out. So Inabashi coming up kind of well, but as you mentioned, he did have that big win against IDOM at EWC, so he definitely understands the matchup.
East Coast Throwdown. East Coast Throwdown.
Oh, East Coast Throwdown. Pardon me. Pardon me. So it was East Coast Throwdown. He took it down. Johnny, get this interview. Oh yeah. Get some time, pardon me. Johnny says, nice to meet you, Johnny. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. I'll show you that I'm better at the command grab than Ida-san. That's a crazy thing to say to someone who has had more time in the game and command grabbing than you've been alive, Johnny. That's a wild thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, funny enough, I think Manon's gonna have a lot more opportunities to land that, so I could kind of maybe see that sentiment and kind of believe him. But Inabashi's just grappler brain, right? Like he's had such a firm understanding of when is like he's in danger of a command grab. Like he has that sixth sense specifically towards that factor. Sure, it's like a pure fabrication. It's not actually scientific, but. It's funny to kind of say it because sometimes it does come true and it ends up being for the better, like for a huge W. But Johnny, like I said, right, being able to accumulate these medals, being able to have like a comboable hit grab is pretty important to rack up that damage and make that command grab even more dangerous, right? One of the biggest things we talk about in this matchup specifically is how Manon significantly outranges Zangief.
Oh yeah, that heavy kick doing most of the work. The stand medium lurching forward as well. Johnny also having a character with a great backdash. Got on a dodge real quick. She's got one of the better backdashes in the game. We see Aotogawa utilizing that to full effect. We see it right now. Johnny outspacing this cat, not extending that heavy kick, knowing that his jump fierce. Rolled the eye, couldn't do anything about that one. Ends it with the command grab, getting it done. 4 medals in totality. You know what? You're right. The command grab definitely stronger on the side of Manon. Juiced up, powered up by the medals.
This is a big deal, right? If you manage to get like any big entry into level 3, which he's working her way towards, it'll be a gang of extra damage. But look at this, the immediate stops back to back from Ida-san. Like a neutral jump calling out the roundhouse, right? That roundhouse is such a pain tool against Zangief, but this back throw off with the perfect parry with everything. Johnny, he got the hit off of the medium, but tried to go for a cheeky reset. Ida-san not gonna let him have it. Jackhammer.
Level 2 for the victory. Tying things up. Right, Reese, we talked about that heavy kick and how problematic it would be. Jump fierce is the way to play for getting that proper distance. Strike throw goes to low. It is on backing away from danger. But that bar at the bottom means those medals get juiced up. OD running bear grab hard the backdash this season. Hitbox even more extended now.
Both pretty low on drive gauge. Ida-san taking to the neutral jumps yet again. Fierce trying to absorb, but either way catches Johnny as a counter hit. Boars dynamite. That was mad quick for a snipe out in the air. Dash up command grab, the big equalizer. Counter hit over the overhead. That low, he can actually go all the way with it. Critical art incoming. This should be dead.
I don't see Inabashi smiling no more. I think it's a done deal. Into the grave. Johnny. He lives to his word. He said, my command grab is going to be better than yours. Juiced up by the medals at level 3, even more powerful for the victory. And when you got to get towards that character to get the reward in terms of damage, you're in her effective range. You're in the command grab range. You're in the medium punch range as well. It's hard for he's to get it. He has to get close up to get that stand fierce. He has to go off the heavy kick as we saw, just like that, the jump fierce. But Johnny's been making a lot of reward off these medals. He lands some now though.
Now he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Itazan just mauling him into game 2. The data collection has been sent towards the supercomputer that is Itazan's grappler brain. I'm loving this already.
Itazan, drive rush sweep off the feet, crouching medium punch, the pushback off the hell stab. Got the distance to hit the heavy kick though, gets a knockdown with the sweep. Perfect parry. Who's coming through with the button? Properly done. Nice and close after the Oki headbutt for the plus frames. Resets the pressure after the hell stab. Good expenditure of bar right now. One SPD, one touch, one punish counter. Overstand medium, the slap chops might be able to kill.
I think more so from the fierce, right? He's aiming for it. Medium kick either way. There were multiple attempts, right? We saw the standing heavy punch. We saw that slap chop a little bit earlier, but medium kick, definitely an excellent footsie tool, no pun intended. Being able to outrange opponents. And again, that's pretty much the utility of it, really. To get some of these quicker punish counters, excuse me, outspace your opponent and also use it as a measuring tool.
Great closer. Dash up command grab. Johnny gets it again with a drive rush. This time neutral jump. Maybe trying to call it like a jump fierce or a stand fierce, excuse me. Call it center button. Nothing doing. Johnny does have him up in the corner though. Back fierce. There's a stand fierce for the defense. Try to go for it again. It's a sweep for the knockdown. Low profile.
Ooh. Damn! That was the meatiest back heavy punch ever. That was right deep into the beard of Zangief. Johnny! I like that. And he's got 4 medals on top of that.
That makes getting close to him even more dangerous. Varian on the back rise with the trap scratch. He kick the counter poke on hit. Johnny getting close enough. Force to the drive reversal from Itazan. We'll punish that heavy kick though with the stand fierce sweep. What are we doing now? A command grab able to land us 5 medals. Oh man, with the CA with level 3 and drive gauge behind
Got a single hit. Oh, this is looking great for Itazan. Pretty much bullied the space if he wanted to. Johnny really trying to occupy a lot of it. Some of these heavier normals.
Punish though. The lows. When punished again, that stand medium kick, the ruler tool. At the proper distance. Final game, final round. However, 5 medals for Johnny. It's a dangerous proposition. Slap chop gets a 3-piece. Back and way so you can get that jump fierce play, gets a heavy kick. He tries to go for that poke. But every single normal, every single button was dangerous. Every knockdown that could happen. But Itazan's side of things could be problematic for Johnny. Didn't get that command grab. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a whip punish there. Gets a jump in.
Yeah, Johnny tried to go for the overhead. Oh, this should be more than enough damage. Itazan clutching it out. Wait, is he actually dead though? It is. Damn. That was more than enough damage. That is actually kind of crazy because it was looking kind of dicey. The life bar was just about the 50% mark of the drive gauge, but like the route that Itazan had on the jump in with everything and the punish counter afterwards, that was a lot to consider. Jesus Christ, the damage is nuts.
I'll
tell you one thing, I think Itazan also had a little bit of doubt right there. You see him breathing a sigh of relief, but his command grabs are better today. Itazan used that level 3, the biggest command grab you could use right there for the victory, at least for Geef's side of things. But I like the way he played the neutral. You know, it's hard to go button to button with her until you get that mid-range. We talked about that. You point out with the stand fierce. Even the jump fierce, calling up the heavy kick was very much a big part of that toolkit. Having the proper jump ins and proper reads allowed him to get the win. Not for nothing though, Johnny had some great moments, great build-up of the bar in terms of the medals as well. And obviously this led to death. But in terms of the normals, the closing out moments, just better for Itabashi. Using that stand medium kick, I think it made Johnny more hesitant to play his buttons as well. But yo, Itabashi, this man has understood this matchup to a T since ECT. We fought Idom, got the proper jump in, proper timings of the buttons too as well. And yeah, I almost
look at all that. Yeah, because like it was medium punch counter hit into a couple of lights, drive rush forward into more lights, and I'm like, it feels like there's a lot scaling, like a lot of scaling that's going to be involved in this combo. There were a lot of lights in that whole combo, so that's why I was like, there could be a moment where he barely lives.
You know, he did say he wasn't sure about Geef this season, but as he fights for the season, he's pretty confident about the character now. We saw the confidence coming into play. 20 points in total. Man, don't let it be you for a blowout, though. DetonatioN trying to close things out. I'm assuming Goichi. No, what am I saying? John Takeuchi pulls out the Rashid. What's with the jump scare, brother? Come on now. Relax. John Takeuchi is going to be coming up here. He's too comfortable. Talked about this match a little bit previously. Tormeshita had a good record against Gachikun over at EWC, so he understands the matchup, right? But what happens if it's someone different, someone more active, someone more aggressive like John Takeuchi, compared to more of like that walk down sort of style that Gachikun presents? What do you think is going to be the difference maker here?
I don't know if that actually applies, like, because Torimeshi is so squirrely, right? I mean, like, he's opting for positioning a bunch, right? He picks and chooses the spots when to teleport and also kind of like be a nuisance. He can fight into the corner if he needs to. He's done an excellent job of showing that off, of like what his defense is capable of. We talk about Rashid, or we talk about Gachikun having some of the best defense in the business. I think Torimeshi has definitely stepped up in that regard and is looking for a piece of that throne for that title, right? Like, he's been doing a great job of staving off against all of his worst matchups and coming up as a victor. So I'm definitely kind of curious to see if like John Takeuchi's like offensive styled Rashid is going to be like enough.
I'm curious what his gambits, like the opening gambits to get things going. Obviously, as Rashid, you want to get the knockdown going, and you have many ways to do that, and many things that it's hard for Sim to be able to challenge. He's got the dominance in the aerial approach. If you float, there are many ways to anti-air for Rashid's side of things. The fireballs as a poker are really annoying for Dawson, and you can easily slide through the fireballs if you play a bad one the wrong distance. And any of these knockdowns are going to be problematic because Rashid loves that, especially up in the corner. You see the Arabian Cyclone mix-ups and things like that, which is hard for Sim to have to fight against. But as you mentioned, the defense from Tormeshi is so good. It's about the movement and his timings on his buttons and how he deals with drive rush. I feel like he's one of the best in terms of stopping drive rush with back medium kick. Whenever I watch him play, he is so good at judging the distance of using back medium kick, stand medium kick. So I agree. I think his defense is really good, along with the movement as well, avoiding certain things. It's going to be up to John Takeuchi to see if he can break through that defense that's been so good that we saw at EWC and even at other Street Fighter leagues, I feel like, as well. Getting the interview out here from Tormeshi. And just by the way, it's good to see Tormeshi and Waichimochi over at, like, you know, EWC, like a bigger tournament. The Sim's kind of showing out, showcasing the character can still cook.
I was very happy about that too, like to see Waichimochi traveling abroad. Like, I think maybe things have gotten better for him. I think there was always been like that thing that limits him from traveling, like a personal issue that limits him from traveling. So seeing him out and about was actually a huge deal for a lot of like long-time Street Fighter fans, right? Seeing Waichimochi travel out to an event abroad was like almost impossible back in the day. So seeing him out there for EWC was such a surprise. But going back into this one specifically, Torimeshi being in the anchor spot is a pretty significant deal, right? They're down 20 points against DetonatioN FocusMe. If they bring this back, it initiates the tiebreaker between Yanai and Goichi. At the same time, whoever ends up losing, if this all happens, if the tiebreaker happens, it's still 20 points, which keeps yourself pretty solid in the running in the grand scheme of things. So I do like that. Torimeshi had mentioned it himself during his interview. Currently in a bad situation. We were thinking that we were able to get 20 points in the first 2 games. I know the matchup, so I'll just have to do my...
So over at EWC, we'll see if it's proven out here. You know, people are asking, oh, it's in Rishi's favor, but the Sim players are able to win. Sometimes, when it happens, when you lose a matchup, you are just one more informed because you see that matchup a lot more. And the other person can only have to use that layer 1, layer 2 to win. You have to access layer 3, 4, 5, things like that. So it's a matter of the player overcoming the hurdles that are presented to them. Same thing with like Sim players doing well against like Cammy players sometimes, where it's like it's hard for you to get the dive kicks because they can't read the rhythm of buttons. The Sim players adapting those scenarios and having an extra game plan. So it's on the Rashid player to say, okay, on paper I do well. How do I do well in the match though? Like, how do I make this happen? And Street Fighter 6 has a variance of like, in terms of like players and their play styles. that also determines how a matchup goes. So someone as floaty and flighty as Torimeshi, it'll be harder to take down than someone that's like more grounded. So that makes the matchup maybe a little bit harder to deal with. But since aggression can take down the defensive wall, that's this Sim player, Torimeshi, possibly a final match, possibly a blowout. John Takeuchi has it his way.
Good call out against the float early. Drive rush on in for the oppression. John Takeuchi already off to an amazing start. John Takeuchi also landing the throw against the attempted parry from Torimeshi. Although cutting it a little bit short, we do get the side switch now. The big punish counter, another throw bait. This time for the side of Torimeshi, setting up the wall, right? Whether it's the normals, whether it's the fireballs. Trying to bait out movement against John with that teleport back. Now we get the low exposure. Torimeshi is on a tirade.
Trying to go for an empty throw with Sim. Almost worked out. Torimeshi jumps back. Going to the drive gauge, a little bit depleted. John Takeuchi trying to find the timing to walk on in. Gets hit with the heavy kick. The foot from a distance. That Odi fireball also trying to rule. But once again, Torimeshi, he loves going up there. The trade with the yoga uppercut. Oh, the arc. Don't teleport just yet. Trying to get some space up in this place.
Damn, the big rebuttal. Torimeshi immediately out of the corner and making it his round. You see the difference too as a life between Torimeshi and John Takeuchi. As John gets the brakes pumped into him, it's going to be so difficult for him to progress, right? That speed bump is something nasty.
Losing a bump for that. Dash up throw. Not having to take throw kind of pressure that we had previously. Makes you happy a little bit of that drive gauge right there. Drive respect, medium kick, the divine kick, side switch, loop throw. Torimeshi with a lot of bar, perfect parry. Come on the other side. Look at the sequencing here for Torimeshi. He's like, if you do this, I'm gonna do that. Level 2 gonna be the great equalizer. The teleport out of there. Still gets flipped. I don't know what button he utilized, but he got hit.
Hey, that's actually not bad, right? Like, there could have been much more potential and also a lot more drive gauge taken away from Torimeshi. That damage wasn't actually that substantial against Torimeshi.
True. Oh, was gonna pick with a yoga uppercut. Maybe could have led to like a yoga blast, a level 1, or maybe like a level 3. Underneath the DI gets a splat. Oh my God, Torimeshi gonna be able to take this with no yoga. That was so sick. The skate underneath, after getting the punch, and go the DI reset. Fantastic. Torimeshi, first game.
That was actually mad smart. It forced a lot of bar from the side of John Takeuchi to make a conversion off of the level 2. Torimeshi is insanely well practiced. Here's the thing, right? I'm not too sure if him throwing out the limb against the level 2 was intentional, because if John Takeuchi, like let's say it rocked, right? If Torimeshi switched sides and just hung out, if John Takeuchi backed up and kicked the wind at him, he would still have to worry about drive gauge being drained. He would have to worry about the mix-up. I think forcing the damage output from there from John was much smarter, right? You don't have to worry about like 2 touches. You don't have to worry about losing drive gauge being pushed to the corner. I thought that was really insanely smart, if intentional. And I honestly think it was. I think him getting hit by the level 2 was absolutely intentional.
So you're not getting caught in a mix-up sort of scenario. Even if it's not, just have the awareness like right after to be like, all right, cool, I'm in a better position than what I would have been if this did lock me down. It's still godlike. So either which way, like, it's one of those things where I feel like players are like ingrained in the sequencing. Like, okay, this is gonna hit me, and if it doesn't, then I'm still out of here. You know, he has the game plan on lock, and we see how the sequencing is. When there was a perfect parry from the side of John Takeuchi, we saw how he was able to like right after that hit the back medium kick, knowing he's gonna play a button right after. But knowing it was still going to be his turn, he'll still have the range to be able to play that back medium kick and get the hit that he needs. Torimeshi has been in these scenarios so often, so much, he's been a lab rat so continuously that he is like, if this happens, this will happen to my victory. And John Takeuchi looking a little more lost. You saw the raw level 2 come through. Maybe he has to find a way to lock him down, because as you saw, there was a teleport. He got on out of there. He took way less damage than what could have been more effective. So we'll have to see more of like an OD fireball, knockdown sort of opportunity. Maybe crouch fierce, drop it on him. Maybe aim for like a drive gauge sort of thing instead of just setting it up raw, because Sim has many ways out and out.
Yeah, John might be in a position where he's kind of sweating, right? Like, Torimeshi just looked well versed. Granted, it is 3 out of 5. Plenty of games to actually like work it out, but John, he's got a lot of homework to do. He does know the matchup, so he said in his interview, but I think Torimeshi just might be a step ahead. If he was able to best someone like Gachikun on a very big day, who's to say he won't take down Takeuchi in somewhere like Street Fighter League, right?
Yeah, especially someone that, you know, they want to get more active, more aggressive, and as you're doing so, you're losing health, you're taking trains and things like that, which is somewhat okay for John Takeuchi in some matchups, but not this one. When Sim gets a lead, no matter what matchup, it's so good for him. He loves it. Getting the lead for him feels so great, and Sim, you can just kind of play your game a little bit more confidently, more comfortably, and again, the sequencing that Torimeshi knows and how he's able to float over things, it's hard for John Takeuchi to find those moments, to even find an anti-air or an air-to-air. You have to get close to that mid-range and go dip with the John Takeuchi. Now, obviously, as you mentioned, first of 3 more games to play.
Oh, yeah, that fireball not going to nullify the float over to the teleport. Torimeshi, he's kind of goading John Takeuchi into throwing these fireballs in the first place, right? Like, one of the big tactics, obviously, is having the fireballs against the mobility of Dalton, but when he teleports past it, it's a whole different story for the punish.
Oh, he whipped the, unfortunate, whipped the yoga uppercut. There, the jump fierce comes down, blessed from above. The prayer hands on the man, Torimeshi. As you mentioned, being able to avoid the fireballs and also not throwing out bad fireballs on his side of things. That's a big access point for Rashid. He's relying upon more buttons for the battering. Uh-oh, crouching medium punch gets a knockdown with the equal spike. Overhead.
My man is blending in with the background, by the way. Booger Green Dalsa matching the prairie.
Actually gross. Level 1 as a finisher to deal the damage. That's good for sim players. You want the lead? Go for that level 1. That's a big damage access for the character. Oh, I see the charge up fireball now using the enhancement to get in. Hella media off the crouching medium punch. Got the shimmy. There we go. Drive rush right back in on in there.
Nice work, John Takeuchi getting around on the board in game 2. Pretty important stuff, man. DetonatioN FocusMe could possibly be the first ones to do it to set the pace with a 40 bomb, right?
Big for them. Time for me to get the throw right after. Drive rush, sure. Again, that strike though mixed up with the overhead. There's a lot of part to utilize. Mixed up in the level 3s. He's looking for, the same medium, but the walk-up throw, never mind, we're fine. The dash-up throw is gonna do it. John Takeuchi showcasing what happens when Sim is on the defense. Sometimes you can't go away. Going down the drain.
Immediately back into it. So, did we just take a timeout earlier in game 1? Yeah, we did, right, with John Takeuchi. There's going to be no timeouts left on the board unless it's from the side of Torimeshi. A timeout definitely benefiting John Takeuchi.
Hey, man, just mix him up in the corner. Just simply mix him up in the corner. It's been working out. However, the reversal jabbing through the string, ODDP forced out. The rest of the bar in production has informed us that Tsubasa took the timeout, so Torimeshi has none to his name right now. Thank you for that information, production. Appreciate you.
Out of there for the corner. Took a little bit of damage on the way out. No threat of the drive impact from this far away. Free damage though. John Takeuchi trying to load up a fireball. And again, the fireball is being nullified by Torimeshi, not because of the float, but because of the teleport.
Wow, new entry point. Drive rush forward, heavy kick. Takes the trade, right back in. Saw this before. Try to jump out. Call with a crouching medium punch. You see him just in the perfect distance. If you try to jump, he'll air to air you. He'll answer a medium mixer if need be. Wait for you to try to flow. Torimeshi. Not jump heavy kick. Luckily gets to lay up the jump medium punch, a 2-pointer. Oh, the fake out. ODP though.
Goading John Takeuchi to take a little bit of a movement, or at least overcommit to any sort of movement, airborne on the ground, etc. Torimeshi has been really difficult to catch.
Teleport, just what he's looking for, the knockdown. That could have been worse though. But push towards the corner makes it real fast. Shimmy makes this horrible.
Did you notice Torimeshi immediately did air teleport, tried to kick the tornado with light, so it was intentional, right? Like that kick was meant for the tornado and actually not his opponent. John Takeuchi knew that and adjusted for a punish counter all the way down with forward medium punch. That was actually mad smart for the corner carry regardless. I see the evolution of this matchup right now.
That is so cool. The Don't fall the fireball though. Careful now, the jump here's coming through. Knowing it's hard for him to answer. Reset that range. The arc, walk up throw, Yoga Noogie. What a bully. Off the low, the fireball right after though. Not a combo, he's killing that drive gauge. Got the bar from jump, he's at the arm, this is that fake jump stack. Fierce, perfect parry. There's the punch, the knockdown level 2. Another one coming through. The reversal jump, you don't want that trade. Not that bad, Tormeshi. Could take it more, but it's looking terrible. Enhance is still there. Clutch back dash to the jab, able to kill Tormeshi. His defense is next level. As we mentioned, taking a trade, that right there with the back dash, this man is on fire on the defensive and offensive department.
I never realized that the elephant grabs Dalsum by the head and puts him on top of him. Like, just uses the suction of the trunk on the no surface stick from Dalsum's bald head. I did not know that for the longest time. That's crazy. What?
It's kind of wild. Could you just float up there? Like, anyway. Just get the knockdown from the Eagle Spike. Get aggressive. You commit to the light kick. You have the counter hit. You'll take that trade though. Up in the corner. What's the defense like here for Tormeshi? Walks it out, reversal jab. Find an opening. The fireball saves it for a little bit more. Teleport just yet. There we go. Even after the perfect parry, using the advantage to be able to get on out of there.
Damn. A little bit of a punish counter. Not really able to capitalize on that. Tormeshi able to get a level 1 and also fix with the pace with the fireballs and the current positioning he's at. Nice call out against John Takeuchi's parry. A little bit of bodily frustration. Yo, John is actually scratching the hell out of himself. He's like, man, what is happening right now?
It's like, wait a minute. On paper, what I was told, Tormeshi saw the OD arc to collect that parry right there. So has all the sequencing, all the sauces. Teleports away from danger. You can't do that. Easy interruption. Jump fierce. He's able to attack parry, but holds the throw right after. Able to recover in time. Don't get caught up in the corner. That's where we're going regardless. Or so I thought. Stand fierce, the knockdown. Level 2 coming through.
John Takeuchi's a lot more aware of the options Tormeshi's been presenting. No! He was too far to let it rock. So at least kick the tornado towards him. No harm, no foul though. John Takeuchi still recovering from that slight incident. Punish!
Try reversal
No way! Woo, that was close.
John Takeuchi with a sigh of relief right there. You saw the camera. Listen, I would have pressed the button too, brother. I get it. It's like, it's my turn. It was my turn. It's my turn to play.
Level 2 again.
I like that on hit. Stand fierce, keep him at bay.
Tormeshi utilizing all the space behind him. He's such a nuisance to force John Takeuchi to run into some of these normals. Overcommit to movement. Very difficult. On to the other side, and guess what? He has so much real estate behind him now.
Switching up the jumping buttons. Right, that heavy kick, the OD fireball. Gotta watch your sig. He has to back off. John Takeuchi knows. Last time he got body for that. Going to punch in the fireball. Try to go for the grab. He whipped completely. Tormeshi not able to advance right after, but he has the lead. This is what you want to sim. This is how you win. You get the lead, kill the drive cage. The anti-air's right there. The side switch. Teleports away. Almost at the jump fierce. Get the counter combo. Level 1 burnout, and that's gonna be it. Tormeshi, the sim savant, takes down John Takeuchi 3-1. We get an extra game.
My man was staring everybody down in the camera. Tormeshi is looking like the MVP already with this Dalsum. One of the hardest matchups in Japan, or at least known in Japan. Everybody in the world was like, this is impossible for Dalsum. Tormeshi proved otherwise against Gachikun at EWC, and today against John Takeuchi here in Day 2 of Division. Damn.
ダルシム使いならではのその空間把握能力が非常に生きた試合内容でした。
Fantastic on defense, especially like having the reason to play, but also, as you mentioned multiple times, being able to interact with that level 2 saved him from some dicey situations early in the game. And then from there, you see him just kind of harassing the buttons and having a good economy of buttons that weren't like, leaving him getting jumped in on or like, you know, whip punish or perfect parry or whatever it may be. Not a lot of fireballs unless it was like OD arc to ensure a strike throw scenario if Tatakuchi like tap parried. At minimum, it made him back off. Just a lot of sequencing and saucing up to actually get that victory. And even having his distance and timing to answer things like that takes a lot of work, a lot of understanding. But again, Sim, one of those characters that takes a long time to cook, but man, does he dish out that damage when he gets the chance to do so. 20-20 right now. Yanai on the side of FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN. You have to set up, obviously, Goichi. He has to come through. But that's not a bad person to end things out, especially hot off a win from World Warrior with Chun-Li. I know Chun-Li players are super happy about the fact that seeing their character have that high representation from someone so dominant like Goichi to win a big tournament, the biggest World Warrior, damn near majors you mentioned. Gotta be great. That issue gonna come in here with some good energy.
Well, I mean, you talk about hot off the heels of a World Warrior, Yanai is in the exact same camp, right? He actually plays third, falling short to Gobura in that Elena match.
True.
So both these players pretty in very good shape. So I don't even know like how either would kind of go. I think I think Bison does a pretty decent job against Chun-Li, being able to close the gap against her. Like you don't have to worry about trying to play the footsie game. I think a well-spaced scissor kick could cause enough problems for Chun-Li if she's not ready for a fireball. And even so, if you miss time and ends up being a counter, you get a lot of reward from it as a Bison player.
One you have to watch out for that Chun-Li players are starting to do a little bit more now. It's kind of hard to understand which one the Bison player is going to use in the spacing, but you can use OD legs to punish, but it is kind of difficult in the -5 scenarios. But regardless, I think overall Bison definitely has the advantage in the neutral. OD's second pressure gets with the fireballs, which she wants to present that as a wall-in option. He can keep up with her speed. He has definitely got the buttons to do so. And the aerial approach is kind of hard. You can do heavy kick against the Devil's Rise, but sometimes those things whiff, and same with Tensho kick. But man, like Goichi, he has been cooking up the competition in multiple games. Looking to do so out here at League. Seeing some of the clips of him at World Warrior, definitely looks like he's got some really cool ideas with the character. His defense has always been next level. So, you know, he says, we are so happy with the previous win. I played and lost at recent tournaments, so I really want to win this time. What are they saying?
Yeah, Goichi's gonna be going nuts.
ということで、それ要選手試合の準備に入っていただきます。
Yeah, so I mean, like, Shadow Rise is a pretty important tool. Also, like, if the fireball does become a nuisance, I think that's a really good observation. I wouldn't want to try to Devil's Reverse. Maybe to try to bait out like a Chun-Li going for a Tensho kick, but even so, like if you purposely go behind her and land, you can still get susceptible to the punish counter. It's a lot to really consider. Like, I want to see what happens in regards to like how Goichi sets the pace. I want to see what his like movement is like. I want to see what his fireball is like, because I think it's going to be very difficult for either character to set the pace safely.
Oh yeah, might have spin some bar too as well. Might have to go for the OD slump. Either way, extra game. First and 2. Try for a scissor kick. Caught him trying to press a button. Caught the recovery actually. Saw it on Twitter previously, huh? Ready with the reversal of Goichi with an early bust out. It's a side switch as well.
That's what we're talking about too. The fireballs being able to deter Yanai from driving up for free and even trying to close the gap. Fierce within range, trying to take the walk back. Exactly that too! The Shadow Rise into the Devil's Reverse, getting punished, trying to bait out Goichi into a reaction. He wasn't gonna give it to him. Not even a damn flinch from Goichi. He had so much health. He did not need to take that risk, and he didn't. He did get the punish counter instead. You saw the attempt at the Shadow Rise again from Yanai, just slightly missing that effort.
That walk speed makes it kind of hard to find the landing. So you have to go for like OD stomp to really stress some plus range scenario at minimum. Something quick with it. Nice scissor kick. Probably done with the distance here from Yanai. Hard to punish. Hard to deal with even for her lights. Scissor kick. Again, proper space. They stand meter kick to help. Use that as a ruler tool, excuse me. Walk him down. Oh, you walk back into her, walked up too much. 4 meter punches there to meet you.
Scary. We got the low medium. Goichi in full control, right? He's got a hefty life lead. He has level 3. A single hit against Yanai could spell his demise. Yanai having a couple of more touches. The corner is going to be towards his advantage, though. If he can force Goichi into this burnout, or at least drain more of his drive gauge before he ends up in burnout, a pretty significant deal. Goichi's defense is rock solid. I jinxed it. Oh, he's over the age limit! The up check! The infamous up check that all of the World Warriors were fearing. Baban said it first. He told InCross, hey, listen, man. In Japan, if you're over this age limit, everybody fears the drive impact. Deny with a very, very sneaky way to do it. Nice work.
Oh, nice with the anti-air though. Goichi back, but could have had a bigger confirm. Will make it up right there with the crouch with the kick, spinning bird kick, saving some of that drive gauge. So reversal jabs have been working out for Yanai though. That stand jab got a lot of range, so not strange to see that. Back fist, the heavy drive rushes up, delayed a little bit too much, too often. Pressure light kick is there, goes to low again. One more touch in the level 3. What's it gonna be here for Goichi? What button? Where's Yanai gonna take this? Spacing up the scissor kick, does it again. Drive thrust scissor kick is a bane. Goichi's like right now trying to press a button on the dash up. Light, that's good night. You're dead. Back fist, no bar, the bomb necessary. Deny, first game.
Damn, son. What a rebuttal from Yanai in that final round. That drive impact definitely had Goichi shook. No timeouts on the board left. They got to play it straight.
Right back into it. The fireball's out to hit up the character once again. Driver scissor kick, but this time Goichi blocks it out. Easy punish and the Oki right after. You're not when you get on the back foot as Bison. Having to wake up to pressure definitely sucks as the character dealing with the reversals like other characters do. Drive impact. Nah, I can't do that. Only once. Punk check twice. That's not so nice. Level 1 should be the finisher. Yes, sir. There's a kill, though. The low will. Goichi. Or excuse me. Pushing away set point for Yanai.
Hack roundhouse for the plus frames. Somebody just said Malibu Bison. That got me pretty good. That was actually pretty good. Woo! Goichi now on the run on offense. Wake up level 1. Gonna be getting a lot of that drive gauge back. Driver's forward with a fat combo. Goichi sitting on level 2. He's gonna be able to spend it. 1, 2, bang. Level 1 actually doesn't even need it. Tying it all up. Very convincing from Goichi. Got the Malibu power up.
The DI is right back. We also the fact that driver scissor kick isn't really working out. Goichi not going for as many checks and challenges against like drive rush or the dash ups. He's waiting to and willing to block it out and get it punished right after. That means Yanai is gonna have to figure out a different way to come through in the nooch. Final game was gonna get the lion's share of the points. Toss him.
Oh, we got the 10 show. With the back throw. Obviously trying to go for that positioning. Very difficult angle for that.
Back fist laid on. Driver's throw. He breaks those. Cycle crusher. Squirrely into the corner. The reversal. OEB Goichi. 10% on those. Blocks out the super right after. Knowing that there's not much Yanai can do on defense. Willing to wait it out, bait it out. Overhead. They'll counter it though for the follow-up. Back fist ender, no drive rush.
Oh, huge!
Pop up, drive rush. Oh, the fake out, hits the brakes, waits, and baits.
Sweet chin music. You're not looking at match point. Big conversion now from Goichi. The first time we've seen him kind of like take control very early in the round. Yanai taking a big gamble earlier on too. Goichi making the appropriate reads.
Damage from the 2, drive reversals. The overhead though, scissor kick again. Just the button towards the corner, neutral jump all up the throw. Try to tech and not connect. Back fist enter, the bomb is on, damage to be incoming. Close to point level 2. For a punishing combo depending on what happens here. There it is, the DI to close things out. Should be able to end this with level 2 after the OD, yes sirree. Return the Mech Bison and Yadai getting his victory against Goichi. 2-1.
Vega wins.
That's Fukushima IBUSHIGIN taking it down 30-20 against DetonatioN FocusMe. Not the best start for the ladder, right? Like, DetonatioN only scored 10 points in day 1. Fukushima IBUSHIGIN actually in that same camp. Both of these teams were at the last bottom 2 spots. ZETA division also technically. But man, what a rebuttal coming in from Yanai, a 3rd place W. Imagine if it was Grand Finals Goichi versus Yanai, would we have seen a different story?
Ooh, maybe. The way he played today was great. I feel like people like understand how good Goichi is in terms of like altering the defensive habits, like the obviously like reversal throws and things like that, the leg tag, play button. The only things that really happening on Goichi on his side of things for his defense was obviously like ODPP was like a big thing for him, I feel like. But otherwise, there started to be more based on the side of Yanai, blowing up the intentional buttons against drive reversal or drive rushes, excuse me, the dash ups with the scissor kicks, blowing out continuously, and there it is, the DI, the biggest damage dealer against the defense of Goichi. Might have to go back to the well for that one. Man, I would like to see this at World Warrior, but we saw it out here in Street Fighter League, and that gets the lion's share of the points. Fukushima IBUSHIGIN 30-20 against DetonatioN FocusMe.
It's kind of wild, yeah. All things considered, defensively, Yanai had opted to go for level 1s a bunch, and Goichi managed to call majority of them out. But still able to make that recovery. Like most of the time when you lose that kind of resource, you lose like the momentum and that amount of life, you're kind of discouraged. Yanai coming back from something that early is so impressive. Nice work. Fukushima IBUSHIGIN have a very strong leader on their hands, and I'm very happy to see this exact team come out the way that they did, honestly.
Very, very good work. Yeah, for a lot of Bison players, I feel like, or even a lot of players, as you mentioned, like you run that reversal and it's blocked out, you're like, I lost a resource, I'm gonna lose the round now, they get Oki now, they yada yada. Yanai being able to be solid after all those moments kind of left his wayside and just be able to land those unk checks and get close to that award was fantastic. We're not going to get the interviews, but cool to see this team work out against DetonatioN FocusMe. You know, some very good bouts out overall. Tsubasa starts things off with the interview. He said, I wanted to win too much. I couldn't think of what moves I needed to use. So maybe he needs to practice that Mai a little bit more, but honestly, I'd like to see that Mai against like a different player like now. You know, obviously you're fighting a mirror match is gonna be different than fighting a actual matchup like a Rashid or a Ken or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? So I'd like to see that, but today the mirror match kind of made it hard for him to get that win. It's a good thing we were able to win as a team though.
Truly, right? I love seeing the current composition of Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. Like, I think it's a I want to say like a well-rounded group, right? You have a potential Mai, although I like Tsubasa Jury a lot more. You have Johnny with Manon, potential Marisa, Yanai with Bison, and Torimeshi with Dawson. Like, it's a weird spot to put Torimeshi as the anchor on the away spot, but he's been so strong in comparison to the previous season. Like most of the time, if you put a Dawson up in season 2, it felt like a death sentence for that Dawson play. Like statistically, I don't think there's been a long, there hasn't been like a lot of data in favor of that Dawson player while on the away side, hence why they were benched majority of the season. But this is like a whole different ballgame in season 3. We're starting to see some of the big changes that Torimeshi is taking towards a lot of the matchups that he's expected to play in and running, right? Rashid versus Dawson, mad convincing in Torimeshi's favor. It's not the first time he's done it too. Again, to remind you guys, he took down Gotcha-kun at EWC. Okay, so he's reinventing the matchups. I feel
like that happens a little bit more in Street Fighter League than at least I remember. There's times where people set up a matchup that's like not good, but they're able to work it out because they're like, I've trained for this so much. I know the other players' habits. I'm going to work around that. And Torimeshi working on that matchup beautifully. We'll get to him in a second. Johnny, though, says, I thought I was doing well, but at this one part I couldn't fix yet, and Idazan was able to destroy me. I wonder if that's like the call on the anti-airs or when to expend the heavy kick. I feel like that was getting jumped in on a lot, which is going to happen. It's one of the main ways to get in and deal with that matchup is Keith, but it was happening quite a bit. And, man, Johnny though, I feel like him having the variants of Manan and Marisa is going to be very beneficial for this team overall, despite not having the results the day that he won it and the play that he won it. Having that switch up, it's hard to find players that play for Manan and Marisa, and the way that he plays at a footsie-based style. It's very different. And I like that he's understanding at least how to play the character, like backdash away from danger. He knows like his backdash is very good. He's got good defense. Torimeshi said, it was so dangerous. I knew Rashid was coming, but I didn't say that. I want to go as an anchor. So he was like, I want to go up as an anchor in the first place. I knew Rashid was going to come up to fight me. Good thing I was able to win and let the team win overall.
I'm kind of confused by like the statement because I don't understand Japanese. I wonder if he's saying like maybe he didn't want to be the anchor because he said I didn't say that I want to go as the anchor is like a different statement than like I didn't say that Rashid was going to be like anticipated for me. So I wanted to go as anchor or something like that, right? I don't know. Either way, either way you interpret it, like Torimeshi seemed pretty well versed and well ready for that match.
Yeah, I love seeing people work out a bad matchup like that, and like, or if it's like just like historically bad, being able to finesse their way through. Sometimes, once again, Street Fighter 6, it's like the playstyle definitely helps out. You know, it definitely matters. Like, we know John Takuchi is one of the most aggressive Rashis in the business, but if that aggression gets countered and it doesn't really find reward for like level 2 where he's not able to get in, then what's left? You know, you have a floating Dawson able to avoid most of what happens, and that being able to like float, jump, cancel, jump, fierce, jump, heavy kick a lot faster definitely helps out against like the fireballs, as we've seen against throw checks, land more damage. I feel like that also maybe helped out the matchup a little bit. So good thing that he was able to understand that floaty sort of style that he has and expand that. I feel like the current sim is definitely made for him. Hinai says, I wasn't too sure about the matchup against Goichi, so I was on as a reserve, but I had to win for the team, so I just did my best at the extra game. Please say something about those DIs. I want him to say something about those DIs. I need to hear about those DIs. You know,
what else needs to be said? I think if you watched World Warrior and saw all the tweets that followed suit, I think everybody should know at this point, if they watched it, everybody that didn't watch it, I should say, they should know where Japan stands in regards to DI, right? Like, there's definitely been like a little bit of a litmus test, like kind of testing out some of the older generations of players and how often those DIs have like succeeded. So if he does say something, I wouldn't be too surprised of what the actual answer is. But they talked about what's coming up next in the future of Hiroshima Team Ikusa. Sorry, for Fukushima IBUSHIGIN. They're facing up against Hiroshima Team Ikusa while they're going to be on the away side again. So not too bad, taking the big 30 bomber with the disadvantage of forcing their player order and player or character selection first. Not too bad at all.
Not too bad. Torimeshi definitely a standout star, I think, so far of today's match. We're not even done. Only just begun. The first match is completed. The next match is going to be VARREL versus ZETA Division Geekly. That's going to be a banger. ZETA on the away side, VARREL on the home side. This all being said, though, or excuse me, it's the reverse. This all being said, though, I feel like Street Fighter League has been still about having that diversity and variety in terms of like the characters and the players and what they're pulling out in terms of like side picks and trying to work those out. And I want to see what happens with people like Tsubasa with their Mai right now versus the Mai in like a couple months when it gets closer towards the end of Street Fighter League and how it develops. That's always one of the cool things is like seeing a player like pull out a character and it's like it's not ready yet or doesn't make a win just yet, but then how it evolves throughout the season.
Right,
I think it's all about the long term, right? I think these next couple of matches that they're going to have against their opposition, Hiroshima Team Ikusa, although being on the away side, it gets them a lot more acquainted with like what they need to do as like a home team to figure out what the counter picks need to be. Having that advantage is pretty significant of being able to choose the matchups at hand too. I think it'll give Tsubasa a lot more confidence to work that exact thing out with his Mai. So I do stand by that statement. I think we've seen that type of growth in previous seasons of Street Fighter League, so it is highly possible.
Definitely. Shouts out to all sponsors, Galleria with the official PC supporting Street Fighter League. If you want a good PC player game, we'll pick this one up right here. It's cool to, again, see all the support. We have a lot of sponsors out here that are like either working directly with Street Fighter League or to enhance the land Japan and the players out there. Obviously, the watch parties that are going on too as well. All the people watching on the official restreams from their side of things, whether it be VTubers or otherwise, the people that are just interacting with Street Fighter 6. It's been super sick. I mean, it's all led to things like World Warrior having 2,300 plus players to enter for the very first one. And as you said before, it's like a dang major.
続きはカプコンカップ11に引き続き、
Yeah, and then also in between too, we're gonna have Tokyo Game Show with a little bit of a break between September going into October with all of the high-end CPTs happening. I'm really hoping that. Oh, actually no, they announced Sea Viper will be playable at Tokyo Game Show. So I am definitely gonna do my best to record as much footage as possible and also play that character too. So very excited to be a part of the show, just to check it out, and also I would like to report back as much as I can with all the findings I get with Sea Viper.
I know Sherry's going to be hitting your DMs up a lot. Same with, I think Mr. Grimm's also played that. Yo, again, with the merch, they always come through with some sick merch. Street Fighter League every single year always has some ridiculous merch. This one is no exception. You got the teams on the back, that hoodie. I got to see this in person. I have to see the hoodie in person, but I'm sure it's of quality because every time they have merch, it's of quality. Again, go back to Sea Viper real quick. Cool to see that they're having that as a playable thing out at Tokyo Game Show. And here's the last side, people. Here's what's going on in terms of more merch. They got the keycaps. They have the what's it, the hype sticks. I don't know what they're called. The glow sticks. There's like an official name for that. But regardless, I don't like one of those glow sticks. Glow sticks. Street Fighter League official glow sticks, which you'll probably be able to see a lot of when people are cheering for their favorite teams for League around the world.
It's cool to see the representation of each team in this manner too. Like, it's a lot for the fans as well. These are like metal faceplate cards that people can collect and also display. Very hefty, very sturdy. Obviously, you can get the full squadron of people in like the full Street Fighter League Japan roster pictures, both like the team captains and also like the full-on participants, players. Pretty damn cool, but also if you want the individual teams, you can pick that up as well. In the meantime, that pretty much does it for our very first match, and what a banger. But we still got more high-octane action coming in with match number 2 right after this break. It's going to be Team VARREL versus ZETA Division. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
In the making, and this is mine for the taking. Cause I got survival of the fit. Take your best shot.
Here comes a new challenger.
「大カプコン展」ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン。ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
いい距離で飛んだ。確かに弱アッパーだったら軽いです。
うわー、見てる
シゲージ。
なる
ほど。ターゲットからの
レベルが高いね。
状態ではあるが。
止まって見えたぜ。そのまま距離見て。
あー、マウントないか。インパクトまでいく。いや、これでマウント。おお。鍵飛びしたら削りがどこまでいけるか。
うまい。
完璧な
完璧なプランすぎる。
完璧すぎる。このだけは。
いいじゃん。いい判断だよ。
こっちも打つ。いや、それとも逆転の選択がむずいか。
桃地が
バリーを使う。お待たせしております。さあ、ここからはチームマーチ
Y'all should be excited for this one. Team VARREL versus ZETA Division coming in hot. This one is going to be such an important start to the first half of the season. Going in with the home team first, Team VARREL with the exceptional pad master, that is TS, coming in with a very impressive Akuma, making vast improvements from Season 2 to Season 3. YHC Mochi, one of our other favorite Dawsons, coming in as the Yoga Monk. As well followed up by Prince of the Rapids, Mizuha, with the ever impressive Kami as well. Then of course, who could forget about the 2D God? This is his month. It is September Mago as the captain. I'm so excited to see it, man. He's been streaming like a madman lately. He's been really brushing up on all of his matchups and also having a fun time with his community. I wonder if Mago's gonna put himself into the anchor spot again. What is happening, bro? He's not even like, he's not even looking at anybody, bro.
Yo. Stay focused, all right? Because you got to fight against Zeta Division. Geekly is a team that is absolutely stacked and is going to have a litany of champions that have existed for time and time again here at League in the singles tournament. So you better be prepared. Zeta Division Geekly is the team that's going up against VARREL. Let's take a look at the cast. All right, let's start things off. Zeta Division Geekly. We're going to be having the chosen one himself, Code, on the poison that is Aki. This guy's ever aggressive with that character. And we put the poison, the toxicity on all of his opponents. The prodigy of Street Fighter League and of Guiles everywhere. It's Higuchi Stand out here. Golden on the Guile. Sonic pressures, one to consider. The perfect pairing. Prince himself, Kakeru, back in business and hopefully feeling a lot better than what he was before on the JP. Ready with defense and a ridiculous level 2 offense. And the silent ninja blade, leading the package of Nobis on a new banner. It's going to be Momochi, Evo champion, and also one playing a random in the World War because he's already qualified or at least solidified to be qualified. So he's sitting pretty. But his team out here in Street Fighter League needs to get a little bit more informed to get more points. Let's see if they can do so. Again, shouts out to Capcom. Seeing him back in business, bro, is going to be good. Just seeing him at least physically, man. Good to see him out. We saw him playing at Warrior. I'm glad he's back, baby. I'm glad.
Oh my god, I'm getting so emotional. I'm glad that he's like alive and well. I'm glad that he's recovered from whatever had happened over at EWC. Our very first time seeing Kakeru this season of Street Fighter League is a blessing.
水葉選手、使用キャラクター、キャミー、操作タイプ、クラシック。中堅、TS 選手、使用キャラクター、ゴーキー、操作タイプ、クラシック。
Mizuha, TS, and Mago? We kind of felt like Mago was going to be the anchor. Like throughout the entirety of September, he has to be the anchor, right?
そして延長戦になった場合に出場するのが
Doesn't matter like the matchup or whatever. I feel like he'll fight whatever it is. Like that's just always where he feels like the most prominent and he's making the most magic happen. However, this is a team that can really deal with what's on Zeta Division Geekly. Akuma and Cammy are really good against Ed, JP, and Guile, and Aki. So like where you fit these first two players is going to be very so important in terms of how they deal with the matchup. That anchor position a little bit easier to deal with. But you get Raichi Mochi waiting in the wings that also could deal with some of these characters too as well. It's like Zeta Division has a good team, but this is almost their kryptonite on paper. But today we have seen what happens on paper doesn't always happen on the screen. So it may be something different out here. To go up against Mizuha though, maybe Higuchi might be the one to go. Yeah, that makes the most sense. In terms of like matchup spread, I feel like you're gonna go Guile and Cammy. It's mostly even, so I feel like that's a good choice right off the rip.
That makes sense. I don't know if like a lot of people kind of feel that way with the matchup right now, but I personally kind of agree with you. I think Guile can hold his own in the Cammy matchup, right? There isn't a lot that she can kind of do within like certain ranges to kind of spin knuckle her way past the fireball, and most often than not, Higuchi understands the ranges where he's allowed to throw those fireballs, right? We talked about like separating the stages up into different zones where Guile is able to throw fireballs. That has been established since like Street Fighter 5 as well. So Higuchi has memorized those zones quite well against a multitude of different characters. I do like Higuchi's activity on defense too, and he can recognize very well when a dive kick is happening. I think having charge for a flash kick is obviously something that's going to be lingering on Mizuha's mind, but medium kick is also so active to stuff out dive kicks just in case. I think Higuchi does a great job with the deceptively decent walk speed that Guile has to like force a whiff from those dive kicks. So we'll see how that plays out. Like Cammy also has a multitude of different ways to kind of like get past some of the fireballs. I think like Hooligan could also be a problem. OD dive kick could be a problem, so there's a lot of back and forth in this matchup.
It depends on how much Mizuha wants to play. Like you mentioned, that medium kick, that's a great button against dive kick. But if it's OD, it's a little bit faster, it's more powerful. It's going to be blowing up some of the defensive like anti-air options. And there are some weird angles that Cammy can get into with jump light kick and some of her like jumping ranges. And also Hooligan, you have to take kind of a little bit of a bet right there to bait out flash kick. But in terms of like consistency in that matchup. I feel like Higuchi, at least when I watch him on CFN, I don't know about tournament, I gotta go back on that one for the historics. I feel like he's pretty good and pretty informed of where to stand so those things don't land. And also, I feel like back fist, where he stands at for that, to clip the dive kicks, as you mentioned, like the walk speed, to catch the recovery of that also is really good against dive kicks. So it's going to be on Mizuwa to bring that obstinance to shake these up in neutral. Mizuwa says, we're on the away side today, so we practice for every character on the opponent's team. I was confident with Guile the most, so I'm happy with this matchup. Gucci says, so our Kakeru is back. We have a full member team with us again. I'm so happy that Kakeru is back and willing to be able to play and feeling better, it seems. And Higuchi notes that.
Yeah, I mean, the sentiment is definitely shared amongst our group. I think a lot of Japan also were very much so concerned. So it's very cool to see Kakeru back in the wings. And Higuchi having the one to start off with W personally would be like a pretty impressive feat. So we'll see, man. Mizuha, he's got a lot of confidence in this matchup, and we've seen the type of prep work he's done before, so I don't know how to call this one. I genuinely don't know how to call this one. I think it's correct that Higuchi should be coming up for this matchup to face off against Mizuha specifically, but we'll see. Here we go. Game number 1 of the first player match. Mizuha versus Higuchi, Kami versus Guile.
We get the button right from the back, fierce whip, completely flash kick ender. As that blade switch it up a little bit. It doesn't need to be all about the normal booms. The blade also stops it with like a dash up approach. Drive rush underneath, avoids the OD dive kick from happening. Oh, didn't recover after the upside down kick. Side switch. Mizuha has him right from the corner.
Again, right at the range too. Mizuha not really able to axe just yet. And also, he's in a position where he can't really just throw out OD dive kicks to get past like the Sonic Boom for a possible punish. He's looking rather dry on the drive gauge, so he's taking a much more passive approach. Higuchi now just having so much room to work with to force his burnout, especially after solid punches established.
Level 2 chipping through the baby booms. Now the blade, the bigger son. This is almost done. This is about to be a chip scenario. He tried to go for a bait. Gets like a reversal super. Mizuha to play his butt. He's back with bar. OD is back on the menu if he wants it. Can he find the range to even spin up the tar? Jump with the hooligan. And that allows him to get in the switch up. And it's not just about the jump ins. It's about the hooligan, as we mentioned. Risky but finds reward. First round of Mizuha.
Counter hit off of the roundhouse, being able to convert off of that. Does get the whiff punish against the throw. Now it's going to be all Higuchi. He actually got caught standing. Mizuha, I don't know if he tried to jump. That had to be the only option, either that or maybe a weird backdash. I don't know, but either way, Higuchi looking so strong in round 2. DI does get the parry and a medium kick counter, nice and easy. Higuchi with a big rebuttal.
Like that, he's got bar to work with at the bottom. That level 2 is so strong for him to kill the drive gauge if he needs it. We already saw it happen in the first round. Could happen in this one. Mizuha needs to go for more of those parries to keep that up as much as possible. Upside down kick, take the turn back after the heavy. And this range so hard to difficultly get with OD. Use the expenditure right there with the OD dive kick. Nice and deep for the dive kick right there in the corner. For the bazooka knee, the punish is there instead.
Stuck in the corner is Higuchi. Willing to wait it out just a little bit. The counter hit does come its way. The big sword normal. Mizuha level 3 jump out. It's been kind of tough. Higuchi has been locked down pretty significantly towards the end of that game. Mizuha scoring game 1. What does Higuchi need to do to get Mizuha off of his back?
I don't know, the way Mizuha's playing is a little bit different than what we're used to. I feel like we see a lot more snowballing aggression from the side of Mizuha, and is like, even in the corner session, I feel like he kind of goes all in a little bit more often than other Kami players, but the switch up of him kind of walking back, baiting out interactions and things like that. There was a moment where Higuchi went for the crouching medium kick and didn't play a button right after, because he was expecting Mizuha to go for a bust out super. That's generally what happens, but Mizuha is definitely playing at a different sort of pace, so Higuchi has to match that. He has to say, okay, you're playing differently. Let me rock with you. I feel like there's not much difference that has to be done here in terms of, you know, what he's doing in terms of strategy. Maybe he has to get more active on his side of things. But I feel like it's more Mizuha playing differently than it is Higuchi playing bad.
I agree with that. Like, there's definitely some moments where like Guile players will crack, or like any sort of like player would crack against like Kami pressure. Mizuha has also been threading the needle quite well to kind of keep his approach a little bit more ambiguous while also remaining offensive, right? There's so many different avenues that Cammy can kind of take to. She can expose the lows for a walk back pretty well. Crouching medium punch extends a little bit further to catch some of your normals trying to start up, right? Higuchi maybe trying to go for a normal that pushes Guile forward, often gets clipped if you're predictable, but Mizuha, again, is just so difficult to work with right now. Higuchi not even trying to maintain charge, not even trying to show off the OD flash kick as a possibility on defense just yet. So a lot of room to work with. It could be like data downloading from Higuchi's side.
Could be. Like, I like some of the things that he's doing. He just hasn't found the proper time. Like upside down kick, for example. Good against crouching medium kick, even crouching light kick at low crushes. Like we saw that attempted, but it got jumped in. Again, the timing, the rhythm just isn't there. But as you mentioned, it could be some data downloading. Like you could use more reversals on wake up. He might play his buttons at a different time, maybe more immediate, maybe more delayed in certain instances to match the speed of how Mizuha wants to play. Because again, Mizuha definitely playing at a different pace than what I'm expecting from what I've seen too as well. And it's probably to make Higuchi off his guard. It's worked out well so far, but not for nothing. It's not like Mizuha hasn't gone for some risky things on his side of things. We did see the OD hooligan come through, and the OD expenditure has been something that Mizuha has been having to go for with the OD dive kick to try to enforce a decision at minimum to try to get a hit on something or enforce something sort to get close up against Guile to probably get around the sonic boom. So as mentioned, if that's going to happen, then it's time to aim for the drive gauge as much as possible, which he's trying to do. Can we get more effective with that level 2? We'll see if that happens.
We'll find out. Here we go, game number 2. Upside down kick already. So we're starting to see a lot more of the roundhouses come into effect. I wanted to think about that too and maybe state that out. If Higuchi maybe finds a way to throw out some of the more delayed heavies, catching Mizuha off guard, it might be a way to open him up on defense. And see, again, even if he blocks the roundhouse, it chips out so much of the drive gauge too. So we're starting to see that implemented from Higuchi.
Mizuha now forced to prepare and keep the bar up as much as possible. Spiral arrow forcing the back up. OD Sonic Boom Spinnature. Now a little bit more for the OD addition to switch things up from Higuchi's side of things. Mizuha still content to just poke it out, trade it out. Wait, get the DP nice and late, but right on time. The down kick, he knew he wanted to go for a low punch, but it wasn't there. OD dive kick instead. They drive smasher. BD crushing fierce, the throw. Punch gonna throw will kill.
Oh. Exchange. Higuchi can't take any more of that. He tried to bait out something from Mizuha. He did the knee bazooka right in front of Mizuha's face to bait out a normal. Not gonna be enough. Mizuha looking at match point.
Now content to spend some OD gauge right off the rib. The OD whipping a lot here. Trying to tap parry. Okay, that might be the play. Bait out these tap parry attempts. Switch up your tempo so it's hard for him to get that. Drake Payne not gonna be able to hit. Crouching kick catches the walk back. Which corner we're gonna go? Spin drive smasher. And Mizuha spinning some bar at the ball. Not wait for level 3. Let's put him up in the corner squarely.
Perfect parry. We're gonna get the side switch automatically. Higuchi not gonna force Mizuha to pay the fees. Actually, he was anticipating maybe a normal to get a punish counter upon landing. Mizuha very intelligently not pressing a button on the way out. There it is, roundhouse, solid puncher. Give me all of that damage, but more so the carry. Drive rush forward? No, it's gonna be forward dash, excuse me, into the forward field. Wait a minute.
Leave him alive? Wasn't able to get that full push. Mizuha still has bar to work with. I'm so afraid of a jump in to initiate a level 3 sort of situation. There's the throw. Critical art territory. A bad fireball will make it fall. Don't do it. He's sort of entry play at this point. He spins the rest of the drive gauge. It's all gone. The jump back finds the crouching medium punch to call out whether it be a super or an OD, as you see right there, ready.
Not too bad of an attempt from Mizuha. I mean, that would have been just fine, going for an OD spiral arrow from that far away. Oh, huge difference now. Higuchi nearly full screen, drive rushing on in, counter hit on the throw, actually catching Higuchi on whatever normal he tried to start up with.
So still has a lot of resources to utilize right now. Not looking too bad, but takes back the turn with the crouching medium punch. Heavy kick, level 1. One more touch to get it done. He's got level 1 as well. If he wants to anti-air, Mizuha takes to the skies. It'll be an easy reaction level 1. Oh, the whip dive kick, and that's going to be the down jab to even things out in terms of the game. So Gucci holding tight, staying 10 toes on defense.
Very good activity coming in from Higuchi, and also good awareness too of where he was at with his drive gauge, right? The round prior, he knew that Chip was going to be imminent, so making that read, going for that back jump was everything to get himself ready for that final round of game 2. Now looking at it tied up, 1 game apiece. Mizuha starting things off quite well, getting the throw.
The dive kick takes the turn back, walk up throw after the whip forward, medium kick. Crouching medium punch, finds the counter, caught him pressing, but maybe a slower one right there. Keeps him at bay with the fireball play. Oh, the trade, not too bad for Mizuha. Do whatever it takes to get in. He's got the lead. And a lot of drop gauge utilized. Good easier for the cancel, DRC cancel. Locking the door with those jabs.
Back throw now. What you do now is Higuchi. Pretty much in critical territory. You whiff the Soban in front of him. Mizuha ready for the punish. Look at that match point.
Back Fierce, or flash kick, excuse me. There's the Sonic Blade right after, though. See that set up to stop Mizuha from dash in right after. To space. And a switch up between booms and buttons. Hard for Mizuha to read. That's what you want, the 2-piece flash kick. Almost got the shimmy with that crouch kick, just a little bit too elongated. Crouch Fierce in the gutty works. Tick throw. Bar at the bottom is what we're looking for. Level 3 now. In range, in kill shot range. Again, yo, what is with people? After World Warrior let the impact rip, that's gonna be it.
Not a single defensive measure in sight for Higuchi. He was on the frozen road. Mizuha giving him the ultimate check. Higuchi's not even in the 30s club. That is a rough shot, but great for Team VARREL. Kicking things off with the big W against one of the highest profile teams you could ask for. VARREL making their statement rather early against a powerhouse team like ZETA Division.
Honestly, we see different looks from both players. Like, Higuchi, as you mentioned, not going for any flash kicks. I feel like his defensive flash kicks are some of the best in the business. We did see some good reversal buttons, but in terms of like his flash kicks, they weren't really there. Mizuha kind of just read his game. But on the other side of things, Mizuha kind of played at a pace that's different than what we expect. I feel like usually kind of just snowballs, kind of runs his game, and, you know, doesn't allow the gas. This time you see him just backing up when need be, failing to get a dive kick right there, but afterwards staying absolutely fine. And there's the DI, no reversal super, no flash kick, nothing doing at all, dog. Mizuha taking the game over Higuchi. I cannot believe he didn't DI right back, but there's so much to think about in the corner. Easier said than done. 10 points for VARREL to start things off. Wow.
Very impressive, man. Mizuha taking it down over Higuchi very convincingly, at least towards the end of that set. But that's kind of tough, man. Getting all that pressure from the lift offer, despite it being like -1, I feel like still, it's still hard to tell what the Kami player is going to be doing afterwards. But it's Momochi coming up next. Ed versus Akuma. It makes a lot of sense, right? We've seen Ed kind of come up against Akuma a bunch this season.
That is true. You know, and the other players just getting better about that matchup. We saw Momochi lose to Kawano at EWC, but he clearly knew the matchup. And I think after you lose, as easy as this is to say, it makes you want to study the matchup even more. I mean, Momochi's a big lab rat. If you ever watch his streams, people, you see him for 6 hours in the training lab or testing things out or whatever it may be. He don't even care about playing matches or ranked or whatever for the entertainment. He's out here to work on what he needs to work on. And you know that after that happened, you know that he worked on that matchup to be more informed and not get caught with the adamant flame or adamant fist, excuse me, that could be coming through as the Akuma players use that to bait out the reactions of the players and buttons of Ed. Over Tiesto, I feel like Tiesto, DJ Tiesto, he is so good on the Akuma, bro. I can't stop saying that now. It's crazy. He's so good on the Akuma, man. I feel like when he's looking like he's confident, he's looking like one of the best Akuma players in the business. When the confidence gone, he's looking like unfortunately one of the worst. But in league, it's been more of the former than the latter. He understands how to play the character. He understands how to optimize. He's very confident. Walk up throw, walk up adamant fist, things like that. Catch you lacking. His fireball pressure is really good. He's one of the better ones to look at that people should be looking at if you want to learn Akuma in general. Having to go against Momochi though, who is been world traveled in that matchup is a tall order. And I'm wondering if they probably thought this was going to happen. They're like, you know what, we got Akuma to take a lot of matchups. Waiting for Momochi to pulls up or whoever pulls up at all. So I'm wondering what his game plan is against someone like Momochi.
続きまして、ホームチームからも伺っていきましょう。桃地選手、意気込みお願いします。
はい。That's gonna be the big question, right? I think TS had made like vast improvements from previous seasons. He actually also had a very impressive start last week, taking it down against Tsubasa's Jerry, 2 games straight. He's been looking like he's been dissecting a lot of the matchups pretty well, and also taking advantage of a lot of the players that feel like they're not comfortable with like the Akuma matchup. So I want to know what happens when you have someone like Momochi who's been facing off against a lot more of the Akumas around the world lately. Like he's been doing a lot more traveling than TS has. So that always kind of comes into play. The last time we kind of mentioned like the world factor, that person definitely lost. I forgot who it was we were talking about, but I think Momochi is a different breed, right? I think having Ed in the way that he kind of plays it too, coming off from a very, very important Ed mirror match that he played off in last week, I think he's more than ready to dissect a different matchup, right? I think he's definitely ready to show how much control he could have against Akuma. But talking about it too, Akuma, having access to Demon Raid is the big benefactor here, right? Like, that's going to be such an important tool to get around a lot of the things that Ed does want to control in mid-range.
He'll be testing those anti-airs, the timing, the spacing, especially, you know, his DP's not the fastest, or even his anti-air, like, you know, stand medium kick, or excuse me, crouching medium kick and heavy kick as well. There are some random moments, like we can find some anti-airs, but more often than not, Akuma's going to make you drop and can't get those DPs off or have the proper spacing, you'll die for it. So, Mochi says, TS is an animal lover, and I have sympathy for him, but it's a dog versus cat going on, so I'll definitely win. What does that mean?
I don't know, man. Momochi be on a different vibe sometimes, you know? I don't know what that means, bro. Like, what? What? Like...
All right. Let's see. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world out here for Momochi. TS starting off strong. Finally overhead as well.
Yeah, so they're going to be setting their face alive for Momochi. Immediately closing the gap. We actually saw this before, right? With Sahara being able to perfect parry against the fireballs and close the gap for the punish counter. Momochi might be keen to that if TS ends up throwing out a bad fireball. But right now, it's all about the corner pressure. We get the forward throw. Momochi gets the lockdown. Dash up, actually. Tries to jump out of the way and gets slammed down instead.
Rushing the kick, just being able to drive rush right after has been so dangerous. The walk up, though, the confidence. When you perfect parry all their fireballs and swat them away and have the range, it's not strange to see an Ed player just kind of stroll on in to get that win right there. Perfectly done, Momochi. Finding every hit that he needs and every drive brush throw at least when working out. Ready to escape the corner, working out of jail.
Bang! Level 2. With the lost flat follow up as well, TS. Into the safe jump. Yo, that was sneaky. We got Street Fighter 4. What was that? The delayed air Tatsu? Oh, we got the dream. What's your sleep number? We got the single bounce. Count them sheeps, playboy.
Empty low. Now it's night-night. Mochi should be able to seal this to the level 1. Hands like Night will to get the kill. Momochi surviving the Tatsu. That's something that Daigo and Kawano have developed. Get you back on the throw tech. Did not happen there. He's seen that again. A man of the lab.
So impressive, man. He gets to do that at the comfort of his own home. He will definitely get the single bounce. One of the biggest things that I do fear is having an Ed cornered, right? I'd much rather give up the pressure instead of get mopped by a level 2.
Oh, yeah. We're off to a very strong start. TS trying to find the buttons to play. Has to be more of the fireballs. Instead of the Demon Rays, you have to get more active. As I say that, yeah, there we go. Guillotine delays it just a little bit to make the DP whiff. Caught the recovery of it. Fireballs nice and close. You can't play buttons. Oh, Travis overhead, puts him up. The frame kill, gets hit with the ODDP. I thought he was gonna go for a bait. Wakes up with a stand light kick. Are you kidding me? Level 2 gotta be coming through. Imperial Zenio help. The Baja Blast.
Not the Baja Blast, dude.
Round 2.
That sounds pretty good right about now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Block on the overhead.
It actually does.
Reclaiming the space.
Hey, nice and high. Like that. Nice little walk back to as well. He is mixing him. DJ Tiesto. Back throw.
He's about to get remixed though.
Uh-oh.
Hey, not too bad. Actually, like, being cornered against Ed as Akuma, I don't really feel like it's going to be too bad of an ordeal, right? You escaped the level 2.
That's true, less to worry about. ODDP lets it rip. TK Fireball. Didn't land on it. We got to pick up right after if it did, but Mochi able to definitely avoid that for now. Knows when to go for the answer, and when not, the dash ring, the stand pierce to the flicker, real strike through hours because he didn't hold parry. Oh my god, the driver still A jabs, knocking on the door. Still level 2 as well. No gaps. Don't put no gaps in there. Check out the turn. Oh. Trap gauge.
Oh my god. Jesus, hella damage incoming. You have to spend it. You had no other outs. Momochi, very expensive, albeit, to keep himself alive and keep himself into the next round and match point. Totally understandable.
Set point. However, TS working with a lot of bar at the bottom. Sin level 2's come through. Perfect parry. The guillotine too far in the distance. Almost got the DP. More activity here from TS. That's the comfortability. When that's how you know TS is comfortable, when he's moving a lot around. He's able to adjust himself a lot more with the fireballs and where he's standing. Was able to get burned. Trying to go for the throw right after the drive rush.
Oh, this is huge. TS can, oh, if he didn't mess up, it was a forward throw, not bad. TS still has plenty of room to work with. This is actually going to be so dire for Momochi, except for that part, catching out the air fireball. He's still catching Momochi slipping a bunch.
Until this happens, Dash conversion knockdown to Aoki. Let's wake up. Also throwing the back rise. He's on the back rise to get some distance. She gets right on it with a drive rush. Go by on the shimmy. OD fireball for the knockdown. DP got hit with the DP. Is there OD? Hit him with the damn son. Where'd you find this one? Momochi, ready for the Akuma matchup, perfectly at the perfect range that the ODDP gets a dive kick. That man is cooking. It's his character now. He said,
well, it establishes a full-on match, right, without the extra match. There's no tiebreaker left on the board. Mizuho got the first match, Momochi getting the second one. This is all down to the anchor, which leads us to think maybe Kakeru should be stepping up to play. But still, Momochi with a big rebuttal. There was actually a ton of big moments for TS to kind of get the upper hand in the corner and get that corner push. But that slight mishap on the Demon Raid dive kick was everything.
So unfortunate. Mochi making the most also this corner position, as you mentioned. When Ed's up in the corner, his back is against the wall, that's even better for him to get these extensions and the bounces up to level 2. But also, I feel like, you know, there were some good moments from TS in terms of like the aerial approach. But that led Momochi to do the things that he has to do as Ed, that he is required to do in this matchup, is find the proper time, the anti-air, the DP. You saw him not whipping the DPs nearly as much, and TS was able to find the timing. Like even this right here, delayed dive kick, ran the ODDP perfectly done. It wasn't enough to like bail out anything on that reaction or that knockdown, excuse me. And that leads to the 10-10. I want to see Kakeru. Even in a matchup sort of thing, I think that JP does okay against Shuri. You know, it used to be where Shuri can drive us through a lot of the fireballs and stuff like that, but I think the normals are just fine. So whatever, on paper it's whatever. I just want to see Kakeru play. I want to see him more informed. I just want to see this guy out here in the streets of Street Fighter League Japan.
はい、
誰から
ヒカルの秋だよね。
秋。
ヒカルの秋。
Hikaru's gonna be the one to step up.
最初出場選手はヒカル選手の秋操作タイプクラシックとなりました。
Damn. I don't mind that at all. I like the fireball presence that Aki has in this matchup. I think both characters have very similar styles where the fireball can be followed up against for offensive pressure. But Aki, I think controls the space a little bit better with the lashes, just based off of that, right? She does have the normals to kind of whip punish appropriately. We've seen the type of pressure she has while Burnout is active. I think she's definitely a character that drains out a lot of the drive gauge pretty often, pretty easily. So I don't mind having this. Taking away some of the resources that Mago needs to use to drive rush on in, or at least get some big damage out, is going to be pretty important.
Also, the fact that like if you're playing against the fireballs or even the light lash, you have to go for the dive kick sometimes, and that's a risky proposition for Jury. Yeah, it has some reward behind it, but the risk to miss a light lash and be recovery or having it blocked out leads to her accessing poison. Or if you already have poison on, it's like 40% of your life. So those moments of access for damage are going to be even more so for Aki, and it's more like Jury has got to have to press the issue a little bit on the riskier side of things. That fireball is good, but then there's Venomous Fang. There's Aki don't even have to engaging with that. All she can just chill. She's like, you know, that's cool. I'll perfect parry it, or you dash up with the stand medium punch that lurches forward. So Hikaru not in the worst place. I definitely want to see Kakeru and how he's going to do out here. But regardless, Hikaru not a bad pick at all. Magojo, though, it is September. Mago says, Anchor Hikaru, interesting. I was thinking of Momochi coming to me, but I feel comfortable against Aki more than Momochi, so he's fine with this. He's like, shoot, this is even better.
He wasn't even thinking about Kakeru, he was just thinking of Momochi? He was thinking about Battle of the Gods? Understandably so. Hikaru gonna get his interview coming up next, but yeah, I really do like this matchup more so for Aki. I can't remember where Broski had put this matchup. I can't recall exactly who has like the upper hand. I think he had mentioned this being kind of even because of the very similar game plans that both characters have. That's coming in from Broski, right? So I honestly think that he does have a valid point. I think Aki has very similar structures, but the fireball is so much more important. And it's so much more potent, I feel like, from Aki's behalf in comparison to Jury.
I think I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Just Kid Jack, he actually got Rashid for the Aki pick. Like, it was too much for Jury during that time. Like, and that was season 1, obviously. Things have changed and been more equalized. So I do like this pick on paper overall. Obviously, it's been equalized a little bit more, so it's not as terrible as it used to be. But we'll see how things are going to go down. Like, Aki's definitely got more rewards. She got a few buffs here and there. And that medium lash, especially off a stand light kick, is going to be a very dangerous proposition. But Jury not too far behind. The walk-up crouching medium kick to stop the drive rush. Oh, this man's the main character. It's my month.
Oh. Oh.
DP, the bust out. Stocks up right after the Fuhajin.
Oh my!
Space trap. Ready with the crouching medium punch.
Damn, just to close the gap too. Spin kicks followed by the fireball. Mago trying to find a way to get these last couple of bits of health away from Hikaru. Switching to the other side. Exposing the low just in the drive gauge. Getting that recovery is Mago. Good! Empty jump low. Counter hit against Hikaru, catching the timing more so than the movement.
See him walking the cross up button tells me he is so ready for this matchup. Wow, season the walks perfectly done. Renko kicks Travis right after it. Backed up, use the jab, doesn't go for the DP. Wants to ensure that he gets that punish. Dash up, now the lights, ends it with the stock of the Fuhajin's only DP in between the string. Hikaru lower on drive gauge, so not a bad idea to do.
Storage. Forward fierce catching Hikaru mid-air. Oh, you might be hitting hella damage soon. You might be dead after this single opening. Mago trying to fish for it as well with the slight walk back into the fierce. Checking the drive rush. September's very own. Solidifying the W at least for game number 1. Pretty convincing start. Mago, he's going to be feeling pretty confident.
Hit him with that. Do you remember? Beautifully done for the footsies. Excellent with the crouching medium punch. His checks and challenges have been on point. Like the walk-up crouching medium kick we saw earlier was next up. And now, once again, walking in against a character that could put the poison on you, has that medium punch of all things. He don't care. That's perfect parry though. Turn back. Heavy lash up with the poison right after that. The jump back to avoid the crouching medium kick though. Defense out into offense.
cross cut. Mago still plenty of life is ahead of him. He's got 3 full storages of FUKUSHIMA stocked up. You get the spin kick, ended in the fireball. Side hustle to start, counter hit. Hikaru, damn, avoiding it altogether. No overhead here. Jump, medial punch immediately from Mago. And very ambiguous. Hikaru probably thought he was going to be able to walk under Mago.
Side kick, talked about that risky. Did not work out right there. The fireball able to cover in time to stay fine. Heavy lash, safe jump setup, catch the counter hit. Another pick up in the corner with a defense like Mago. He holds the throw for right now. Holds the plus strings as well. Waits for the proper time to hit the crouching medium punch fine, and now level 2. The engine is revved up towards the corner. Yes, dive kick, followed right after it. Across the DP again. Throwing that toe whip. Hikaru spins a level 3 just to try to get the round. I do agree.
Had to get the dump out. Not too bad. Not too far away in disparity when it comes to the super gauge either. We got 1 barb just about for the side of Mago.
True. Hikaru trying to press the issue round start. Different buttons. OD fireball expenditure as well. Slight delay on the throw. Some of the poison, yeah, step in that puddle. That means damage could be dumped up. He finds the access. Mago just unafraid of that happening. Meaty stand medium, throwing bows up at the corner.
Oh, what a perfect parry.
He knows the stand fears. That's like the second time it's happened, right?
It actually has been, yeah. But still, Mago gets a chance to do it all over again, unless Hikaru can get himself out of the corner, which he does not. Again, the jump getting completely thwarted. Except for that one, onto the other side. Very fortunate. That was a punish counter down heavy in the air.
Big pickup incoming. Level 2 should be coming through. No, poison, pardon me. Maybe he wasn't gonna kill. Back throw does enough to do it. And Gar did say during his interview, hey, we lost last week, but I want to win here and in September. He wants an in September. Take it off the calendar.
Man, we still gotta go. We gotta go through Tokyo Game Show first, Playboy. Don't be doing that.
Yeah, it's crazy. With CC Viper, it's wild, Hikaru.
Pretty important to note that Mago, again, utilizing that walk speed to kind of close the gap against Hikaru, making the lash a little bit harder to utilize in certain spaces within neutral, right? So Mago actually very keen about that spacing, taking it away from Hikaru.
Medium punch, punish counter, heavy lash to the ender, of course. Put the poison on. He gets a turn there. And if he tries to walk back or stand up, crouching medium kick is there. Wanna wake up. Carl gets to level 1. Poison is on. He's got the lead. Drive rush fireball now to switch up. Using specials instead of normals. Oh, he tried to use, I think, a normal there with the heavy kick. Got jumped in on instead.
That's right. Oh, very huge. Hikaru just about to build level 1. He could go for it for the kill. Level 1 intact. Just enough for the dirty bubble. Yes, it is. The big shift in momentum. Mago starting to sweat a little bit physically. You can see him kind of worried.
Falls on the fireball. Well done for Hikaru. Get the poison on. That's actually going to hurt. Perfect parry on the walk-up though. Now Mago not dashing with the buttons. Trying to go with the perfect parry as much as he can. Keep the drive gauge and also stop Hikaru from trying to play a button. Cross up. Caught the punch counter. Light lash with the poison on. Again, another overhead. Pure blessings from above.
Damn. This guy Hikaru is on a tirade right now. Drive rush! And it's a low! Damn, son, that was mad tricky. My man did early stand jab, immediate low medium kick, just outside of the range where you think the throw is coming too. That was pretty godly.
That was pretty sick. Hikaru switching it up, the timings, the pacing. Driver's lash and fireball are kind of switch-ups to stop the crouching medium punch check that we've seen from Mago. It makes him a little more pensive and neutral. Hikaru just works from there, catching his walk back with counters and things like that, making the most of every opportunity, put the poison on whenever he can to land some damage right after. And Mago needs to figure out a way of, like, now that you're using specials to drive rush up with instead of normals, and not let me initiate the proper way that I want to, how do I switch up the game plan? How do I work around that?
9月9日9時なんですけども今 もう
I couldn't even fathom
もう
how to
10
approach
月
that
1日に
right
なってしま
now.
うか
But this switch up coming in
こ
from
れから
Hikaru
い
as
ろい
the
ろあるっていう
anchor
のに、
ねえ
seems to be on the right path
今
for
週
that
のプレミア
W.
どうすんだって話
2
ですよ
games to 1. The big timeout being taken from Mago. No timeouts left
10月が
from either camp.
みんな一番
VARREL
忙しい
and
と思
ZETA
うんです
Division
よ
have to play it all the way through. But again, this is the final matchup between
この
these two teams.
この
But
ヒカルが走り切れ
overall,
る
the
のか
pressure coming in from Hikaru has been quite intimidating.
まあヒカルの方が今主導権
Mago
を握っ
has
てい
not
ま
really
す
spent anything to kind of like take
試合も
big
ヒカル
risks
ペースで動い
against
てま
it.
すね。
And who could blame him?
ただまあ
Aki, again, taking out a lot of drive gauge on the way over with some of the strings that she can't present.
そのジャンプ攻撃さえ
The amount of damage that she
なん
could
と
dump
か
out
で
as
きていれ
well.
ば
Much more
勝ててる試合
intimidating
も
in
多かったと思うん
comparison
で
to Jury.
だから次の試合はそれを考
Oh
慮
yeah,
し
like
て
it's like a two-step interaction for the character in terms of what they get off, but the reward of that second step of after you apply the poison is so significant that even the matchups where she doesn't really thrive in, she can still survive in because of the fact that she has that damage potential when she puts the poison on. And again, having drive rush like lash, fireballs, switching up the timings for that allows the poison moments to happen more. You also see Hikaru putting down poison because he's like, if I can't get to you all the time in between some of these strings, I'll put down poison because you're gonna have to dash up, or if you jump over, I can maybe anti you. But overall, you'll be stepping that poison more often than not, and it's becoming a problem. You know, I don't know what Mago has to do to switch things up. He was so good until the variance of the drive rush was making him more hesitant, and Hikaru starting to run all over him.
He's gonna find the answer soon. Hikaru being up 2 games to 1. It's pretty much his final chance here to maintain the current positioning for VARREL. They're coming in with 30 points, by the way, into week 2. But for ZETA Division, again, they need as many points as possible. They're coming in from a 10-point start.
Wow. What do you expect from that team, but shows the pedigree it's out here. Caught the walk back. Really...
Yeah, that was the feint coming in from Aki, so Mago does manage to catch the low medium kick off of that.
Whoa! What a setup right there. Nice goes for the throw. Does it again. Carl putting a lot of variance after some of these knockdowns. These opportunities to answer with the heavy lash. Hard to do, but he's able to get the poison, but it's gone now. Counter combo. Throw. Drive rush would take the pressure. Too far for the crouch kick to hit.
Plenty of damage incoming. Look at that match point. Hikaru is just looking too comfortable. He's looking in so much control. Quite the opposite, right? Like Mago was experiencing that in the very first game of this set. And that confidence is dwindling.
Absolutely. That's Seiko also adding that variance is kind of hard for Mago to continue his pressure after some of these sequences and knockdowns. After some of the interactions. Hits the heavy lash right after, again to put the poison on. Crouch, even to kick able to hit. Level 2 coming through. Put him up the corner, mix him up. Dive kick. Jump line kick, the fall right after with the low. Reverse the combos. But they're helping incoming. The throw, yes. Temporary attempt.
I like that. The nightshade pulse from the OD and also the light lash. Catching Mago mid-air, forcing a big pushback. Hikaru could actually make a pretty huge comeback right now. Well, actually, not right now. Previously, I mean, before the burnout had happened, then possibly, but he had to pump the brakes. And Mago knew it, hence why he went all in. Frames after the OD cool face, he did the throw.
Jump back, no button. Not trying to get exposed right there. I do like that. The dive kick lets it rip raw. Get the throw, or whatever button came through. Dash up throw. Looking for that crouching heavy kick. Maybe the super to kill the drive gauge. Hikaru spinning some of his own with the OD fireball. No whip punish there.
Oh, he tried to press a button. That was actually mad delayed. Do you force it? Do you force the VI?
Let him in.
You don't need to.
I believe. The
shimmy! Oh, he is just playing with him. I don't know if Mago intentionally meant to drop because he's definitely, he had his hand in front of his face afterwards. Maybe he wasn't sure it was going to hit, but either way, man. Staving off match point. Mago bringing it all the way back.
That's like it hits the morale either which way. Final game between the two, though. Driver stand medium. The Buster is a backdash to avoid the throw right after, though. Knew it was coming through. Push position. Now you're in the corner. The command grab the jump back, but no. The crouch fist wasn't the proper button. DI raw. Carl not shy about using that option. Poison down.
Oh my god, hella damage incoming too. Reapply the poison, does get the rest of the juggle. Overhead, successfully blocked. Mago trying to get away with a FUKUSHIMA storage. Right in front of him too.
Towards the global stake, kicks the light lash in there, of course, get that poison on, reset. Finally finds the command grab, the one that he wanted before. Chunk of damage off, throw right after. Oh, he's got Bart, the Bart with the overhead. Nothing doing just yet.
This is huge feng shui activation. A lot of damage to the drive gauge off of that initial hit, and this was into drive impact to get the burnout force. No way.
Or at the bottom, all it takes is one hit confirm. On a punish counter. Karu takes the throw. Almost back in great graces. Can he get the drive gauge back? He does. Mago suppressing the issue. Stand medium, on the second one to get it done. Final game, final round when it comes down to this. Karu all the resources in the world to work with, but Mago could work up to another level 2 scenario and harass up in the corner.
Dual fade on the way over. Carter trying to bait something out. Dual fade again. Plus frames, Mago is not able to punish any of these approaches thus far.
Very hard for him. Drive reversal that puts Hikaru in burn. It's asking for a super real soon. Probably want to sequence, of course. Kill his drive gauge, get Shore's back to the heavy lash to end things off.
Do you get advantage with your bubble? Yeah, you probably do. And that's a good call out. The spacing trap. OD fireball. Oh my god, Mago weaving past it. Avoiding death. Feng shui time. He went for a neutral jump. He was anticipating a drive reversal against Hikaru. The read does not pay off. And it's ZETA taking it down.
September is over. We're moving on. What's next? October, we're there. All right. Had problems with that look and problems with Mago. The switch up and how he was getting that pressure and approach. The variance after certain normals and moves on knockdown, being able to set Coil right back to avoid the gaps. And we saw him just being able to be solid in corner scenarios more often than not in the reverse. Opening up Mago, fantastically done. It was looking like Mago's game to win overall. I liked just the back and forth that we saw overall in the neutral, but Coil able to take it. Like we saw things like this, crouching medium punch, be able to stop a lot, but what happens when it's like a driver's fireball, driver's light? That means that button can't come through nearly as much. And you have these meaty setups, these scenarios where you can just dump out the damage. As Hikaru, he's been going through a million of them. And then you add at the very end the command grabs, adding a lot of variance in. This man, Hikaru, knows what it takes to take down the likes of September Mago.
Yeah, a lot of really confident calls coming from Hikaru. Right? We've seen how well woven his offense has been too. There have been a couple of shining moments from the side of Mago, but this is the very end too. Like he was definitely looking for a drive reversal at that exact moment. Hence why the neutral jump came out. Hikaru making the appropriate reads. Not only is his confidence in his offense, but also making the right defensive reads against Mago. It coming down to the wire though, it's totally understandable, but that could have gone either way. Like, imagine if the drive reversal did come out, Hikaru would have been smoked.
ZETA ディビジョンギークリーの皆さんおめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。Now the wire button. Good matches on the way. ZETA.
それではまずは今回
Can the line share 30 points in the name? Kakaru,
味方の試合ご覧になっていていかがでしたか?
I would imagine next time we see him, we'll imagine we'll see him play. Definitely see how he works out in the league, but overall good work to ZETA. In terms of like the matchup spread, again on paper, not so good for them, but how they operated in most of the matchups was fantastic for them. You know, I like the odds. The player-to-player aspect was really good for them. We're gonna get their interviews, but you know, definitely living up to their namesake. Some of the people outside of Street Fighter League watching, especially in America, cited this team as like the top spot for them, along with Reject, and they're living up to those accolades.
At least in day 2, that's actually been quite comforting. I mean, we didn't know if they would have been falling short again. Like, there was a possibility. There was definitely a realm where they could have gone 10 points again this week, especially with the way Mago's been playing. But as it stands right now, Zeta Division coming up with a big W, a very needed W. And Momochi also kind of kicking things off with the big 2-0 was mad important. Like, if you saw the way he played the previous day, right? He's been on fire. Momochi has not dropped a single game since Street Fighter League Japan has started.
Wow. No, it's early, but that is still a very impressive statement considering how many strong players are out here and who's had to face. Like, that is next level. And the fact that he faced Lashar off the rip last time he pulled up is crazy. This time here, TS. Kakuri says, we were really stable. I was really relaxed watching the game. Kuchi says, I was looking back at the most recent game against Mizuha. I was practicing for this matchup, but unfortunately I lost. The team won, so not bad for the team. I hope we get to see more of Gucci use the OD flash kick, because I feel like he's got some of the best reads with that reversal than most Scout players, or even most players in general. So hopefully he gets comfortable enough to let those reversals rock. But, you know, Mizuha just played that so well, being able to play at a different pace than I think most of us were expecting, including Gucci. But overall, still happy the team was able to take it.
As he should be. Kakaru again, not being able to play at least this week. He did show up, so at least there's that. We'll definitely take that more than anything. But we are going to get the rest of the interview coming in from Hikaru as well. Damn! He's definitely talking his talk against Mago. He's like, are you okay? What happened to September Mago? Damn, son. That's pretty good. He had a little smirk on his face too when he did it. That was pretty funny. We are going to get the rest of the interview. I really want to know. Dude, everybody's cheesing over that statement.
I know what he's saying. I haven't seen Hikaru, or if you had a chance to ever talk to him, he's very like reserved, very like quiet, you know, very nice, very respectful person. So for him to be talking to us is next level. First we Momochi, he said he came back and he didn't come out to play today because of the order, but we will start from here and win throughout the season. Hikaru said, Momochi said, Michael was an old man and he cannot reverse the impact. He started the game with drive impact. The fact that he said he's an old man and can't do the drive impact, Carl, even saying that in general is so out of character but so cool, so funny.
Real goofy guy, man, I'll tell you what. But as it stands right now, we're getting the final moments, final words coming in from Momochi as well. I don't know what their calendar looks like right now. I can try to figure that out. Let me see. For Division F, I do believe the Zeta team should be fighting DetonatioN FocusMe next week not next week, sorry, in the following week of September 23rd. So plenty of time to rest because of the fact that we have UFA coming up too. Yeah, they're going to be on the home side again. So yeah, back-to-back home appearances from the side of Zeta. I wonder how DFM's going to be getting themselves ready for it. So, let's see. Oh, so he did mention the September thing. Did you mention the September thing, Tinkola, from the interview?
No, not yet.
Okay, so the rest of it, Hikaru said, I ended September, so it'll be October 1st tomorrow, so everyone be careful. It's actually October tomorrow. So, a big deal coming up for the next match. Next match might be at the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in Tokyo. I think that's where it's going to be held because they said next is the offline match, so we'll do our best to win in front of the fans. I actually want to see if I can pull up and maybe commentate that there, but I don't think I can.
That'd be super sick. I was going to see the players, like the reactions in person, things like that would be super fantastic. But overall, Hikaru, I can't believe you talk mad mess like that. That is not the Hikaru I know. Who on your team is teaching this? Is it Momochi? I don't know. Either way, Momochi says, as you mentioned, it's an offline match, so do the best for their fans. And I hope it really is an offline match to see the teams go at it. Almost like in the finals would be super sick. But it's been some sick action all the way through. Shouts out to this team Zeta, taking it 30 to 10, excuse me, in the very end there. Next match is going to be Hiroshima Team Itsuka going up against Reject. That is going to round out our day of fights. And that's going to be an exciting one, considering who's on those teams. Before we get to any of that, once again, big ups to Red Bull. They're going to be having a student tournament. And what's great about this is good to see like the new emerging talent come through. When you give them the stage, they're going to show out and show up. So I can't wait to see like who's going to be like the new emerging, new young player out here. What's going to be like the next Blaz, the next Karu, the next Indian Walker that might emerge from this tournament.
I love that. I love the fact that we have all of that coming in too, and that's going to be showcased at Tokyo Game Show. Hopefully I can catch it as well. But more importantly, man, these World Warriors, you saw how stacked it was during week number 1. Y'all better get yourselves ready for week number 2 happening pretty soon already. September 29th, huh? Damn, son. No rest for the wicked.
All 9 of all. This will be at the end of this month, so tune in for that one. I saw halfway through the first one. I got to see the clips, the spoilers, but it looked like a banger, an absolute banger. Plus, surprise picks. Not a lot of top-tier characters out here, or people that would expect them to be top-tier in that top 8 position. So tune in for that one. Sign up if you're in the area, and get ready, at least for today. Our last match of the day, Itsuka versus Reject. See how we're going to close things out. We have legends on both sides and surprise picks on other sides of things for last season. Hiroshima Itsuka was like that dark horse that was doing mad work out there. And this season could be getting even further in these brackets. But of course, Reject is one of the top picks for people, if not a lot of people's top picks, considering the pedigree that is on that team. That'll be coming up real soon. In fact, that's coming up after the short break. People, we're going to take a quick one. When we return, more Super League Japan action coming right at you. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
In the making, and this is mine for the taking. Cause I got what it takes. I'm not the youngest superstar. Yes, no breaks, no stars. Talking on I belong in another one.
comes a new challenger. World Tour. Fighting breath. Battle hub. Local violence match. Street Fighter 6.
ついに来たなっていう感じでしょう。シゲになった。これは使うショカッと思ってたから使わないんだ。完全にリザル見た。球抜けても終わる。抜けても終わる。シールもありますね。ただ時間がありません。しかも逃げに迫って51の砲翼迫るぞ。きたー。うわこれはいった。これはいった。
絶対いった。岡部奪った。
うわ
大カプコン展、ついに東京で開催。世界を魅了し続けるカプコン。ゲーム作りの裏側に迫る貴重な展覧会。新たなグッズも登場。詳しくは公式サイトで。
さあここからはチーム
Time for the final match of the day. Team Reject going up against Hiroshima Team Itsuka in marquee match. Well, the match has been marquee, if we're being so honest. But this one is going to be an absolute banger. We're going to start off with the ones that reject their limit. Starting off with the beast that will feast on your hell. It is a Daigo Umehara. And he has been looking super in form with that Akuma. After that is going to be an attack on Heavy Tank, Fudo on the DJ or Ed, and switching back and forth and making both characters very relevant with that very aggressive play. After that, it's the Korean golden finger himself, Lashar, most consistent players could ever ask for on Street Fighter League and outside of the league as well. Last but not least, the man that protects the limits, Tokido on the Kin, and sometimes the JP. We'll see if that even needs to come through. This man's cooking with that Shoto flair.
Pretty excited to see how this reject team kind of comes back from, or actually continues on after day one, right? The reject team got their big W. Lashar actually wasn't able to perform the way he wanted to. Hopefully it does give us a little bit of a change up and see what the roster is going to be like from the away side. We're talking about who's on the home field advantage right now. Hiroshima Team Ikuza. Get well acquainted as we get ready for our introductions. These guys have actually had a fantastic start in day number one with their debut of Adley in the anchor position of Ed. We'll see where they're going to put him this time around. Let's talk about it. Adley, the man, the young man, here to seize the future. Very excited to see what he brings to the table. Now, fully unleashed, being able to get that counter pick going. Will we see Akira coming in today? Quite possibly. The lightning fast Cammy, you gotta utilize him. He's also garnered a pretty big fan base these last couple of months. And of course, we were talking about Lily in the chat. We might see her come out to play with Hibiki, coming in with the grappler instinct, all led by the duelist that is Aqua, with JP and Blanca at his disposal. We'll see if that's going to come in to play at all, or will he play back end and just be the coach for the team this time around.
We'll have to see. They're throwing up the signs. Hiroshima Team Itsuka. But yeah, I like Reject coming in. I mean, they overall have had such a good run outside of Street Fighter League. You have a lot of players that have hit top spots, have qualified for EWC and things like that. Some have even qualified for Capcom Cup already. But we'll see how they work out in the team format. Characters are very good, very varied. A lot of them have been long-standing players. We'll see what the order is going to be. Ooh, Fudo off the rip, Tokido in the middle, and Lashar with the Terry. And if we need it, Daigo as the extra position. How do you feel about this composition?
I'm just glad somebody had mentioned in the chat, somebody said, I'm hoping we get to see Lashar's Terry this time around. I didn't want to respond to that. I'm like, you know what? Your dream is about to come true. And honestly, that's something I want to see as well. I think having Terry for the back end, because you're on the away side, is just fine. Lashar didn't do too well in the mirror match against Momochi. In the Ed mirror, he fell short 0-2, and he felt a significant way about it, right? So I could see Terry to kind of change it up for Lashar a little bit. And I also like Terry in the long run against anybody on Hiroshima Team Ikuza. It's not to say that they would falter to it, but Lashar has proven to face all of these matchups before in a North American major. Right? He's faced off against a Lily before, he's faced off against a Cammy, JP, Blanca, and Ed with Terry. So I think it's just fine.
Okay, Lily versus Ed. Not something to typically see. I think when she gets the stocks, the neutral that's kind of hard for her to kind of contest with becomes less of that. You know, being able to OD kind of spire through these sort of limbs with the fireballs, that's when she can really shine, as she does in most matchups. That's kind of the game plan for her. Get the stocks up, let them rip with the OD, or even the normal ones if need be. You have the enhancement to catch the buttons. You know, we've seen Hibiki be that just specialist for this character. He's dabbled with other characters, but being a specialist for Lily for a long time, he's going to understand the game plans. But you have to be able to stock up. Is someone like Fudo going to let you do that? Probably not. At least not without a knockdown scenario where you have Oki to do so, where you have to choose between Oki or stock ups, because he's so aggressive. He is so active with this character. I think he hits a certain range, he starts drive rushing up, dashing up, fireballing, whatever it may be. Even with the flickers as well, it's hard to be able to throw anything that you want to. And with Crouch Fierce being slightly nerfed, that means that button, doing the neutral, is not going to do so nearly as much. She has some other buttons to play, but they're all going to be stubby compared to what Ed wants to do. So it's going to be a matter of when can I stock up, when can I send that out so I can get in and get aggressive.
I think there's a lot of normals that Lily can have to make herself a little bit more competitive, right? I think medium punch is also really hard to space yourself against. Her medium kick is actually quite sizable. I wouldn't say against most players or most characters, I get like the sentiment of like them being stubby compared to Ed. I don't think Lily's in that regard. I don't think Lily's in that. I guess in that blanket statement. On top of that, I think. Yeah, no, I just feel like Lily doesn't really belong in that space. I think she could do a pretty damn good job, even with Fierces as well. The main objective here, I feel like, for Fudo is to prevent the win stocks from happening. But Hibiki's so creative in scoring these knockdowns that I don't even think it's going to even come to fruition. So like, I think there's a lot of tools that Lily can have to combat herself well in this matchup. I happen to be exposed to it these last couple of days, watching both locals, watching some of the other NA players play, primarily Kote as well. But yeah, I don't even think it's going to be too problematic. There's definitely a reason why Hibiki's coming up first against Fudo specifically.
He wasn't expecting him. So Fudo said he wasn't expecting him. He was with the big kid overseas tournaments, and in practice he was losing to him. So you're on point with that. But he's comfortable in the matchup, though. He said, that being said, I'm comfortable in the matchup. You know, that's practice. What's going to happen in the tournament? I can see your point. I can definitely see the aspect of like, you know, Hibiki being creative enough to be able to get those stocks up. Even in matchups, like even besides Ed, he's been able to sneak those stocks up, either through gaps in pressure or, you know, sneaking them in against some players. If you're a little player, you have to figure that out. He's been able to do so. First match. So let's go. There's that same medium. Oh. Shimmy off the stand Pierce. Up in the corner. Another tech.
Yeah, even Hibiki had said it himself, right? He's going to do his best. He's good at playing against Fudo, is what he explained, right?
This is the anti-Fudo.
Snipe out. With a counter hit, kill rush forward, important tech for Hibiki, would have been very close. Damn, the raw sweep! Now getting started. We do get the command grab number one. Are we going to stop or drive rush? Drive rush is the option. I like that. Ensuing for the pressure instead. Are you going to drive up again? Command grab after command grab. Hibiki's got the right read against Fudo thus far. Damn.
He proved what he was saying about how he's ready against Fudo. Reading those reversals or lack of reversals just in general. He blocks so bad, they block so well that he's able to switch his stage. It's actually crazy. Anyway, Fudo. Well, Chase used to do as well. ODDP. The bust out between the street. Or catch the button at least before it came through.
Ooh, what a jump out. We can get the level 2 attack. I'm not sure if there's going to be enough damage unless he ends it with level 1. Yeah, he doesn't have to, but it's still going to be so difficult to contest afterwards with the knockdown. Fudo giving it right back to him with a perfect.
So the 70 kick seemed to be the play to play, trying to initiate the driver's jab, but the biggie stocks up. Oh, still has one to his name. We're making it a little bit more ambiguous than when it's time to run the Condor Spire. Dash up throw.
Oh. Yeah, bar for bar has to do it. Makes a lot of sense using the driver reversal to avoid Hibiki getting extra plus frames on that. There we go, level 1. Fudo now in control. Let's the sparks rip, at least temporarily. There's command grab number 1. You drive rush forward. No, you're gonna go for the stock. Was a little bit low on drive rush. There's a parry. And you can't drive impact it. That's not the way.
Oh, level 2 signature right now. I think he's got bar. Level 2 is gonna catch. He won't, but the pressure amounts after this. You better block level 1. Did you play a button? No, he didn't. He blocked it out. He thought Fudo would press something there. Fudo blocks it out, switches it up, secures the first game. That was close though.
All came down to a final read. Fudo making a great defensive choice against Hibiki, securing the first game. You can see how back and forth it is too. Like you can see what Fudo's kind of like looking for and weary about. Hibiki's been doing a great job of trying to enforce that fear with the command grab too.
Tell the cycle to get the Oki, back step for the flipper range. To catch things like this. Cycle blitz. Jabs on the wake up, looking for a reversal option possibly, or at least a drive reversal maybe. Yeah, he's just waiting. Doesn't need to be, honestly, worried about too much right here. He's got all the range to work with. Exposed button will open him up to success. Drive reversal, offensive style, staying for the corner a while. Slowly ripped to catch the flicker though.
Huge for Hibiki, by the way, if he can maintain his positioning. At least get another stock up off of maybe a normal. Oh, that's huge. You know the Spire's coming. Fudo's looking for it too. You went for it? The perfect parry against the OD win stock? That's crazy. Those frames, nothing you can do about that. That was actually such an impressive perfect parry coming in from Fudo. Look at that match point now.
The defense, knowing the gaps, he interrupts the target counter for even happening. Knocked off the cycle, but smack dash. Takes the turn back with the crouch feeders. Gonna stock up to at least get those flickers off the table. Sends one out. Yeah, that's your turn. 50 low. OEDP. The bust out. Hiroshima back throw.
Condor wind. One stocked up. Fudo, how do you keep Hibiki away? You know the Spire's coming. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Actually, you got stuffed out. My mistake. Oh, and the side switch, man! Ambiguous. Level 3. That's all she wrote. Fudo with the huge rebuttal against Hibiki with a long-standing W against him. And he is ecstatic with his teammates. I don't know what he's doing. He's asking for high fives virtually. Someone give that man the double dapper, please.
Well deserved, yo. He was going to get played against Hibiki. Understanding the tendencies and when he wanted to go for the stocks up, the gaps, preparing all that, and taking away the resource and surviving. The majority of the resources were expended. And then just when it wasn't there, harassing the proper ranges with flicker, stand medium kick. There was, yeah, obviously that great round at the beginning where he was taken down by like the command grabs, command grab, things like that. But other than that, the defense alterated continuously was just too much. Yo, Fudo, well informed in that matchup and how to fight Hibiki.
Yeah, man. I want to say, like, that call out on defense against the OD Condor Wind was pretty damn sick. Like, how did you even think about doing that? But that also pretty important. That was a pretty important game for Hibiki going into it, into the level 2. It's just unfortunate that it went out the way it did. He had no drive gauge resources to him. He's forced to eat this level 2. Great defense in the very beginning, but then the read afterwards, like how much of a delay Fudo kind of brought out afterwards, that was a tough read to make.
Yeah. It's hard because if you play somebody, maybe they make that happen in the casuals or practice or whatever. They talk about it, but then when it comes time for tournament, it's something different. The switch up here from Fudo was perfect enough to take Hibiki down and not let him even get in. See, towards the end, lots of help to play with right there. Fudo just sitting pretty with that mix with the side switch. Gives reject 10 points. Tokido is up next. Who goes against him? Who do you think should come up?
For Hiroshima team, I want to say maybe Adelaide, but yeah. Okay, so it is going to be Adelaide. Ed versus Ken, it makes a lot of sense. I think saving Akira for the anchor spot might be the wave.
I agree. I think so too. You know, I think Lashar. So I'm having trouble with his Ed versus Kemi, but I thought it could be Terry a little bit later on. We'll see how that works out. But I like having more time to shine. Akira having that first of 3, and I think Ed versus Ken is still kind of problematic for Ken in some ranges. I mean, it's hard for him to contest with buttons. It feels you have to go for that perfect parry against the flicker, which does get more reward this season, which Tokido is really informed in doing, but. Ali is crazy good. The way that he took down Goichi, I watched it back. That final game final round scenario, if I'm remembering correctly, was just next level. For him to go up as an anchor position player, new to Street Fighter League, and take down Goichi of all people, shows me that he is ready to be out here.
So what was it about that matchup that you were talking about? Like you were saying, like you would watch that final moment between Adelaide and Goichi. What was it that was like mad impressive to you?
Actually, just more of overall how he plays. It feels like Adelaide is like, I don't know how young he is, but it's like a common occurrence, and maybe I'm wrong in terms of his age, but the confidence that he plays at, and when things do go wrong for him, he doesn't seem like he's too shaken up. We see over in League, and sometimes in singles tournament, but a lot in league, where there are younger players or even older players where something goes wrong and it just steamrolls downward from there. But for him, it didn't feel like that was happening too often, too much. In fact, he had the big lead before the first 2 games, and then things kind of went astray. But even when that was happening, it didn't feel like it was that bad for him, or that he felt like he was that out of it or playing out of form. You know, I feel like I was expecting that to kind of happen because you're new to league. Your team's riding on you for the anchor position, right? That would theoretically happen to a player. It didn't seem to have any sort of shakedown for that. So, like, that confidence and to stick with your game plan and you know, not get too shaken up by what's going on, seemed like it wasn't too bad for him. But Tokido's different. I feel like Tokido, if he knows he has to play you, he's like Batman. He's studying everything about you. He knows what you like, what you don't like. He knows what you're into. He knows what you eat. He knows what you ate yesterday. So, like, that's a different sort of player than, like, a defensive player. He's going to be very active with driver Shab and driver Stow to try to get that data. And the Jinrai as well, which you can't use that much. Crouching like kick obviously blows that up, punishes that easily. He'll do that sometimes to kind of see what you're going to do on defense and then work from there.
I see. So there wasn't anything like specific towards like what he had done against Goichi, right?
Not really like the matchup sort of thing, but just his mentality though. It felt like while watching him play, like I feel like he puts points in everywhere. Like, I can't really suss out what kind of Ed he is. It feels like he's good. It feels like a lot of things, but it's a mentality though that I feel like is really strong.
Okay. I wanted to double check that as well. Let's see if there's anything specific to the matchup that he was showing off differently. But I guess mentality is a thing, but I mean, how far does that go against someone like Tokido, right? You talk about mentality, like Tokido is of that exact same caliber, right? Like we've seen him. There was one CPT Japan premiere where he showed off different methods of going past the flicker that Ed has with like medium Tatsu, and he did that like multiple times over during that premiere. And I was like, damn, there actually is like evolutions to this matchup, right? There's definitely like some shining moments that Ken does have to face off against Ed. Whether it's medium Tatsu, whether it's enhanced run DP to get past like not flicker, sorry, the fireballs. There's definitely a lot of specifics that Tokido has broken down in the matchup. I'm more so worried about whether or not Adley is gonna keep up with Tokido's antics.
Yeah. As mentioned, you know, perfect parry on the flicker, you get an easier punish out. That's freeze the screen, so something that he was doing the difficult, you know, match with on defense is gonna be even easier for him. We'll see though. Interruption with the crouching line kick, gets the DP right after. Okay, the suppressive range. He had the punish though, the jab, the follow-up. All right, I think Chin Buster might not have reached.
Damn, already off to a very impressive start too. Adley is just mauling them. Tokido thus far.
Back. Driver Shab. Jinrai Ender, perfect parry. He's 18 years old. Thanks, production. He is on the younger side of things.
Ooh, way to cook. Immediate check against Tokido. Adley looking mad cooking. Punish counter there. Tokido, they get the first run. Defensive back throw. Unlucky, but still getting damage nonetheless.
And she's way in. Proper space in the stand. There's no follow-up, no problem, no. Adley trying to hold on the with that crouching line kick. That's been a big opponent to stop Tokido from coming through, but the recovery in the spark gets one for the driver's jab. No back throw happening here.
Adley might be fishing for a fierce, or so we thought. 1, 2, 3. Not gonna spend any bar just yet. Kill rush forward, trying to bait out with a walk back. Tokido jumping on in, does get a managed to get a tick throw off of the jump short.
Okay, the crouch pierces. Should be the Shikuchin ride. There we go. Spin the bar. Give it the scaling with the jab to get the win. And Tokido's fine for spinning that bar, you know, from level 2, level 1, whatever it takes to get the job done. He knows he'll build up for another level 2 later on. Ooh, crouching medium punch to start things off though. Cycle flick.
Damn, son. That is gonna be a lot of damage. You get so much of a conversion off of that punish counter flicker. And look at this, full control, Adley. Near perfect, 4 bars to his name. Tokido's gonna get punished for that sweep. What a risk to take. Adley dismantling Tokido in game number 1. That's got to be sending signals for the reject camp. Is the timeout going to be taken?
That's what I'm talking about. This kid is good. This kid is no timeout right here, but this kid is on one. That crouching like kid has been stopping a lot of things. Again, not a lot of reward, but it's going to be annoying to not be able to press the issue like you'd like to. OD cycle upper for some distance. Still trying to get in with the toe tap and the fireballs. Nothing doing.
Rush in, there was a counter hit. Attempt to try to sneak in a normal. Adley making sure the string is tight, getting that forward throw. Still staying within the space. The parry against the chin ride follow-up. 100% ready.
Shab trying to pick things out from the throw. Completely, Adley. Once again, able to get a push, not able to kill though. The jump back jab.
Woo! I like the options for control. Coming in from Adley now. Facing the repercussions of this burnout. Tokido not able to make the most of it. Adley looking at match point. Damn, son.
I can't see him. I'm waving my hands up in the air. This kid is ridiculous. He's so good. It's not like there's like ridiculous tech from him. It's just the fact that he's so confident in his button presses, the economy of buttons that he's spending, what he's doing for the switch up. As soon as like one thing he gets punished, or we saw the spark get punished, he's ready. But Tokido ready to convert off that counter hit stand light kick. They get that drive rush conversion right after it towards the corner. Nice finesse and bless. Crouching beat the punch to start things off. Level 3, of course, Tokido never shy. They spin that bar to get his back, get back in the lead.
In, into the parry. We do get the punish counter. Adley a little bit too comfortable with some of his normals. Throw will do it. Anything will do it, really. Fierce is the answer. Tokido trying to stay alive. Adley sitting at 3 bars. A single Fierce could bring out for a corner carry. Could be a level 2. Drive rush on in. Tick throw. Set up. Just dashes up.
That's the pressure. Backs up the air to air. If the DP won't work out, check him with a jump back. Holy parry gets the fireball. Walking him down as much as possible. Not trying to expose that same kick too often. It's back thrown though. What's that defense like?
Oh, this is tough too.
Oh, I thought he was gonna catch a recovery.
Ed having his back towards the corner. A single Fierce into OD. OD blitz. Could be lights out. You know he's fishing for it too. And Tokido knows it. He's got a smirk on his face. Oh, there we go. Either way, the blitz comes out. The inevitable. More purple than Thanos. We got the dream. What is your sleep number?
Time to snap that health. Trying for the jump back jab. That wasn't too bad, but this is terrible. Back and throw. All countering conversion. Another super incoming. Level 2. I love level 1. No. Spin all the bar to get it done. Full serving of knife quill. And he puts the old man to bed. Adley, 2-0. That's what I'm talking about. Confident in the button presses, confident in the neutral. Some things not working out, able to slightly adjust and not go too far off the path, no matter who it is. I don't care if you're an Evo champion. You've been on the streets longer than me. I'm someone to fight Adley with a big victory. 2-0 on Tokido.
こっち有利だよねっていうの分かってるので、本当に焦らずに。
Very smart layering of his offense too. You're starting to see some of the conditioning off of the approaches that he gets from throws. I really enjoyed how much he kept Tokido on his toes with the up close pressure, but also knowing full well when his turn is almost up, right? He'll back away, he'll do a normal kill rush backwards, and then in angles where Tokido would try to jump to get out of the corner, he would do jump back jab instead of trying to risk anything with like an anti-air at an awkward angle, right? So his understanding of like his overall spatial awareness in game sets was so much stronger than Tokido's, at least within this match. Really impressive.
Man, he just blows me away every time I watch him. Like, he is so cool. 10-10 right now. That means we're in a final match for Shar. Whoever goes up is going to be the last person going up to fight it out for the lion's share of the points for 30. Now, I feel like Akira would be the perfect pick for this.
Yeah.
I agree in terms of having that first three, more time to kind of grind the match out.
I agree with you 100%. It has to be Akira, right? Like, there's no way.
戦からはアキラ、キャミ、クラシックでお願いします。
Yeah.
いけアキラ、ここだぞ。
This dude has had like an explosive career, by the way. He has had such a big increase in his fan base these last couple of months. I think since his last performance in Street Fighter League Season 2, and also towards the end of like 2024, a lot of people have been on like the bandwagon for Akira.
Good reason, man. He deserves it. After all that he's done, how he's gotten better, how he's improved from. We used to see him either be really hot or really cold. He'd have really, really good days or really, really bad days where he get washed completely. Those don't exist anymore. The latter don't exist nearly as much. Even in tournaments outside of Street Fighter League, he has been way more informed with his Cammy. He's been able to rear back the pressure when need be, so keep it a little more ambiguous. However, Lashar, a lot of people cite him to be one of the best players in the business, and I agree. This guy is good on no matter what character he plays. He's been able to be an absolute machine perfect player when need be, or adds a humanistic element where you don't know when he's going to bust out ODDP, take his turn back. Having a mixture of that makes him such a uncomfortable person to have to play no matter who it is. And even though he didn't have the start that he'd like to have, you know that's only going to make him more informed to have to play even better in this match. So we'll see if Lashar can keep up with the speed star, the lightning star that is Akira.
レシャーとね、ちょっと組み合わせの妙で対戦することになって、すごい
I think he just mentioned Kincho
でいっぱいです。勝ちたいですね。ここで勝って、今ちょっとレシャーと仲良くさせて
I'd imagine like part of the interview process or part of the interview response is that Akira has had a lot of practice with players like Kincho, who was, I think a lot of us got really introduced to him towards EWC with that Terry. I'd imagine he's gotten something to say in regards to like how prepared he is for the Lashar just based off of playing against Kincho.
You want to see if you got that matchup knowledge. Obviously, Lashar is definitely different in terms of how he plays his Terry, you know, but Kincho is a really good practice considering he is one of the best Terries in the business. We saw how he did in the LCQ, how godlike he was over EWC. Lashar says, if I win, we win as a team, and I'll beat Akira as a former teammate. Yeah, they did play before. Akira says, it's a fast start for the league for me. I want to do a good game as a former teammate. So he definitely wants to show out as a former teammate and showcase that he's still very strong. But I gotta imagine that Akira did go to Kincho to get some of that practice. I don't think there's a better Terry in Japan besides, Lashar, obviously, than Kincho. So if you're gonna get that practice, you're probably gonna go there. Let's see if it works out. We'll see if Lashar even has to go for the switch, or it's gonna be Terry all the way. Final match of the day comes down to this.
See it. Already off to a great start. Roundhouse from Roundhouse. Lashar ready and willing to let that rip. Immediate OD up. Damn, checking on the drivers too. These guys are playing high octane. The speed is out of control.
Fast OD dive with the fireball. Punish counter as well. Okay, we'll take that. Far well spent. Towards him another jump in.
Looking for the knockdown. Still able to cover the neutral jump. Close to burn out his bows. Akira forcing himself to be the one. No conversion. That was actually a crushing light. Maybe a stand jab could have been it. But either way, standing light for enough. The punish counter. Akira is playing at a different speed. Lashar trying to keep up. Didn't manage to do so in round one.
Ready to be able to catch that crouch kick. That is one of the best crouch kicks in terms of range. This man's on fire. And whip finishes the heavy kick. Power arrow towards the corner. Caught him checking the throw, not connecting once again. Back that swing from the throw. Lashar will take that trade to get some distance. But needs to find more of the footsie game. Feels like it's kind of hard, but Lashar able to ski under that punish counter. Knock down with a DP. Trying to go for another throw. TK dive kick. The side switch off the spin knuckle. Out of there. Okay.
Boss the Wolf. Oh, what a trade-off. Two countering back to back. Lashar has more than enough in the tank for another one. Boss the Wolf, not gonna be killed yet. No way, Hooligan. You build up enough for level 3. He actually gets it. That's the critical art. No shot. Akira with the Hooligan on wake up. Actually insane. The speed star.
Too quick. Quick with it. Quick with it. Waking up with OD Hooligan, like who does that? Akira does that. The man of tech, the man of knowledge that can be using every part of this character. Get the first game. That was insane. And the build the super at the very end. This guy's crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy. All right, only first game though. First 3. Got more time to grind it out. Hit up the fireball with the jab.
With the whip punish. Mashar, drive rush does get checked from Akira. Immediate OD uppercut. Another immediate OD uppercut. Very close to burnout, but it's actually both Lashar. No, it's just Lashar in burnout. Akira doesn't want to spend it yet. Or he doesn't want to keep blocking.
Yeah, just want to take those hits.
Important tech.
Yeah, that's smart.
Round 2.
Shark keep the pressure on. Back into it. Fire was a little risky, but a little bit closer might be the way to play. Hard hit the dive kicks against it. ODTK blocked out. Caught him walking back with the crouching leg kick. The damage is adding up just a little bit. The trade. Oh. Over knuckle. Drive rush overhead. Bless this dome.
One more sequence for a level 3. Lashar, if he gets the big opener, could be off a punish counter. If Akira commits to something a little bit heavier, that roundhouse still within that range, forcing Lashar to block. Akira can't be overzealous in trying to get this burnout, right? I like that, though. For the side switch, OD spiral arrow. Dash up. Lashar, what are you going to do about some of these normals? Pretty close to life, by the way.
That's a good one to play with stand medium and crouching medium punch. Stand medium, especially, or hit confirmable. But it's hard. We have these out range normals like stand medium kick, crouching medium kick, the jump hits as well. Akira goes with the docking DP roll. With an anti right there. Hits it with a second low. OD quick burn into a fast burn. Your health. With the rising thing. Bow. Not enough to kill just yet. Dash up, throw text though. Akira can make the comeback. Got level 3. Don't throw an errant fireball.
You can do another hooligan into a drive rush, by the way. Especially after that tech. Oh, delay! Lashar defending so cautiously. Yeah, hooligan's been a threat.
Seconds though, Lashar.
Akira.
Yeah.
He knows it too. Oh my god! Forward throw. 12 seconds. Lashar can't take any more. Well, he could take a throw, but that's another one. Oh!
He tried to rob him.
That was quite the attempt. I mean, there were back-to-back throws, so the conditioning was definitely there. The potential was there, but good on Lashar to defend against the quick spin knuckle against Akira. Most players would have been susceptible to the throw, but not Lashar. I can't believe he blocked that.
Everyone gets hit by the motivational Monday, brother. Not Lashar, though. We see that a little bit too much too often. Good defense, able to put game to board. Tore for the throw once again. I guess call him technically more often than not. The perfect parry. Crack shoot. Not good with the side switch. Just a knockdown. Nice and close after the quick burn. Got medium punch next to throw right after, though. Oh. Try cage. Looking bad. Stand medium. Making the help look way worse.
A lot of these straight hits coming, nothing too big out of it, no punish counters, no nothing. You ran right into it, actually. That might have been a big buffer from Lashar. Medium punch into the super. Damn!
Round start. That's how you feel? Raw sweep off the feet. Not gonna catch you with the crouching leg kick, the counter hit. Catching a lot of these walk ups or walk back, excuse me, or standing. Keeps landing. OD DP for the bust out. Yeah, drive rush DP. Off the heavy kick. He's trying to counter poke the stand medium kicks. Not able to find the proper timing. Let's a quick burn rip. Oh my god. It's enough.
A lot more convincing coming up on the side of Lashar. 2 rounds straight with a hefty life lead and also forcing Akira into a corner rather quickly. Man, we are going to take that time out, obviously. Akira needs a little bit more consideration towards how he wants to play against Lashar versus how he needs to play against Lashar.
Yeah, I feel like Lashar's landing when he needs to. As great as Assist is saying, you know, stay medium punch, crouch medium punch are the buttons you're going to use in this matchup. Or in most matchups, because they're really good butts for the character. And he's able to land them more effectively. I think the fireball variant is making it hard because it's nice and close. It's hard for Akira to like dive kick that happened once, and he was like, all right, never again. And even the timeout scenario that happened was also really good for the son of Lashar to be able to have that lead and play the way he wants to play really good on defense. It's a matter of how do you open him up. I don't know if Hooligan will do it again. That was a good like first game sort of thing to close things out. But will it happen again against Lashar, who was able to DP a dive kick without any OD behind it? I don't know. He's going to be reacting a little bit more towards the aerial approach.
This way gets kind of dicey. 2 games already. Straight from Lashar. Akira actually had a pretty good look in the previous game, right? During that time over sequence that could have been. I think just one wrong guess from the side of Lashar, it would have been a whole different story, right?
Yeah. She's got the normals to steamroll. It's just Lashar's finding his way into the close range game to play his normals. Heavy kick is a good button if you get a punish counter, but every wave is a chance for her to get Oki, the spiral arrow ender. Every crouching kick that doesn't hit, as we've seen, is an access to light kick punish or crouching medium kick punish from the side of cannon, using her walk speed to guide in and out through, even though that button is very, very long. You have the walk speed to play around it. So Lashar is playing this properly to get inside that distance. So again, the onus is on Aki to stop the opposites that's happening for the oppression. It's up to him.
Yes, we do have Akira really honing it in on the timeout. Just trying to figure out what needs to be done. Like the speed of it all is kind of like hard to discern what needs to change from the side of Akira. Lashar has been like keeping up with the pace quite well.
Yeah, it's like almost like a speed bump for Akira. You know, you want to play that fast pace range, and it's not always happening. You get slowed down too much, and not of your own accord. So you have to figure out a way of, if that does happen, how do you play around that? Like, what's the footsie game? What's the walk-in pressure that we're utilizing here? Either way, we're gonna find out if it's gonna work out or not. Driver stay medium too far out. The slight walk back to whip punish that. Akira had an answer for that at least.
Good call out against the possible throw. Lashar getting blown up. Another dive kick, and now going right back up with that roundhouse against Akira, that whiff punish.
Counter hit, not the biggest combo. You're looking to kill the drive gauge though. With some of these enders with the fireball. That's fine. If you don't get a hit, that's okay. Objective to kill the drive gauge might be completed here. Hold up now. Full combo. Drive rush jab. Wait. Looks for that dive. Nothing doing the flip out. Get burn out, but not an option. I like that. Keep him in the corner with the jump back.
Akira kind of buffering away. Stand light kick punish counter. Lashar is OD. Match point.
That man walked forward, then walked back with punch out with the stand light kick. Set point for Lashar. Plus frame off the stand fierce to dash up again. Doubles down with it. Meaty with the fierce. Keshi trying to do something. I don't know if he's trying to jump out or not. One more touch to make him drop. He's got the drop gauge behind it to ensure that W happens. Crouching medium kick, a stand light kick, don't whip a goddamn thing. Walk up throw again. Has a pinned against the wall. Lashar with another walk up throw. Is it gonna be a throw or a DI to kill? Get that perfect walk up back throw, switches it up.
And the roundhouse checks Akira mid-air, and he reels back in his seat in disbelief. That angle is so awkward, and Lashar, with that normal, still able to clip the wings from the Speedstar as he crashes and burns. That's going to be Reject taking it all the way. 30 to Hiroshima Team Ikuza's 10.
Wow. What a swing back. You know, I actually, now I think about that, playing a heavy kick right there is perfect. If they jump easy saw right there, they'll get clipped and hit. If you play a close button, a faster button, whatever, you might just take the train because your button, you have the help for that transaction. So at that distance, at that range, not a bad choice there from Lashar to run that. Man, that quarter pressure was just too much in the Speedstar, not able to get going. No gas in the tank right there. Lashar bringing it back to the brink. Again, the switch up, when things started going his way was like, if I play the fireballs nice and close, it's hard hard for you to dive kick through. He started getting more confirms. Like, this was sick. I gotta admit, this was godlike. Like Akira, who could have ever thought to do that? But then reverse, like, who could have ever thought to use heavy kick as a aerial, anti-aerial approach, or even a trade scenario right there at the very end? Man, what defense right there for the OD spin? That was so sick.
He had time for maybe like another throw. That's hard.
レシャーも2の2という形ですね。
Yeah, that is.
インパクトは全く駆け引きに発生しなかった。
Dominance here though.
そうですね。
You got the walk up back throw. It's fine with that.
レシャーは返すというイメージが。
But close, you try to jump the heavy kick, whether it be a button or a jump. They'll clip either way. 30 to 10. Ishar getting his revenge in the anchor position, the game that he wanted. That's a big amount of points for reject. Hiroshima Itsuka only with 10 to their name, but 30 for reject. Fantastic. What job well done.
それではここから見事勝利しましたリジェクトの皆さんにお話を伺っていきたいと
Not
思
too
います。
bad though. I mean, Hiroshima team because they were coming in from like a pretty solid placement the previous week. Right, they had 30 points coming into this. Now they're at 40. So they're hanging in there right about the midway point, if I'm not mistaken. But Reject is currently running away with it at 60 points. If I'm not mistaken.
Big up lead. I will say though, for Hiroshima Itsuka, Adelaide though, like that cat is a problem. I think if anybody's watching this, like from the other teams, other squads, they're like, this guy right here. We got a plan for this guy right here to take down Tokido 2-0 with that confidence. That guy's gonna be an issue as the league progresses.
And we are getting the remaining players' interviews first. Coming in from Reject. That's how it usually goes, right? The first person that gets interviewed is usually like the extra player.
リリー使いの方にすごい協力してもらって、最初苦手だったんですけど、もう今は
Daigo, you went first. We weren't able to predict the order correctly, but we were able to win. What a team. So they weren't able to call what was coming through. It was kind of dicey. He's like, but what a team. What a team.
He's like, I can't believe I picked the right one. That's crazy. You guys wanted me on your team for what? Daigo barely woke up from a nap, man.
He said, oh, is it time to play? Oh, it's over? Bet. All right.
He's definitely going back to sleep. That is for sure. Getting a good lengthy amount of words coming in from Fudo to, I guess, talk about like what had gone through his mind in his matchup against, sorry, I was in his matchup against Hibiki, right? Like, I'm sure he feels pretty ecstatic about taking it down after a losing record that he's had against Hibiki at EGBC.
And Fuda said, I had a lot of practice with other Lily players and was able to feel comfortable with the matchup. So again, him being world travel allowed him to get exposed to more Lily players and get more of the matchup experience. Tokido says, Adelaide was really strong. I was beaten up. I'm telling you, all the other teams will be watching that cat even more intently than when they saw him beat Goichi in the front game final round sort of scenario. It's these young players that have this just confidence. I don't know what it is. If it's just like being young allows you to have that just carefree sort of attitude. Not even carefree, but just less risk averse, but understanding of what you should be doing, the moment not breaking down. Whatever it is, it's insane. Tokido says, I was practicing for him, but the result was unfortunate. I'll do better next time we match up. The fact that he got ready for him and still lost 2-0. Adelaide's kind of godlike.
How do you get ready for the youth, man? How do you get ready that's just so prepared for everything in the matchup? Like, his pacing overall was actually super impressive. He didn't overcommit to anything. He didn't really whiff any normals in front of Tokido. It made it feel like he was quite the veteran, right? Like, I don't even know who he's practicing against to have that type of like pacing against someone like Tokido. And to throw him for a loop as well, right?
Who would you even practice to like prep for Tokido of all players? And you're right, that same kick came out a couple of times, but it wasn't whip punish. And that shows to me that the economy of buttons was spit so well that you just couldn't figure out how to whip punish that. Someone like Tokido not doing that is big. But Ashar says, first time in Street Fighter League that I played Terry, it was a good game. I got my confidence back. That's good, you know, being in the anchor position, you know, allowed him to kind of suss things out a little bit more, maybe gave him a little bit more time. But those last couple of games were definitely a little bit more in his favor, a lot bit more in his favor, excuse me. And he said, I was thinking Adelaide would come to match me up. You know, I hope when they run back though for these teams, in the second part of the round robin, I hope they get to play. I kind of want to see how Adelaide is able to play against Ashar, whether it be a mirror match or even just Terry versus Ed.
何か声をかけてさせていただくと思うんですが。
Yeah, I would love to see that going forward in the future, but
付き合っていただくよう
man,
お願いいたします。次も頑張ります。
I would hope
ありがとうございます。
maybe we get to see Adley more in the anchor spots, but as it stands right now, reject. It could have gone either way, man. Like, Fudo got his W, Adley got his W, both representing very hard and well for their teams. Reject and Hiroshima Team Iguza. I still think Akira could have had it, man. There was definitely a moment. I know a lot of people were confident about Lashar, but there were definitely some shining moments, in my opinion, where Akira could have taken it. But now Hiroshima Team Iguza has something to think about now. They have to figure out who they want for their anchors going forward on a consistent basis, right? They have a lot of good prospects. Like Hibiki could be anchor. 3 out of 5 Lily in his control is a lot to think about. I like Adley thus far. He's already had his experience in the anchor spot and got the big W. And now also, like, it really is up to Aqua to kind of discern and figure out what game plan needs to be implemented going forward too. So hopefully, I'm actually going to tune into Aqua's stream a little bit later to kind of like ask him about it and see how he feels about rotating anchors or doing it specifically for matchups, right? So I'm not too sure. I think I would have loved Akira versus Tokido, and I would have loved Adley versus Lashar.
Yeah, that's the order I kind of was hoping to happen. But maybe we'll see it next time. Adley, I'm definitely going to be checking out his stream too as well and see what's going on in his thought process, or at least watching CFN, because his ed is something different. Just the playstyle, even beyond just the ed. Again, I know that's not the team that won, but I am so impressed by the way that he plays and the confidence that he has in a game that you have to control the chaos in. He is. It doesn't feel like he panics. You know, I feel like that if you're a player, win or lose against that team, you should be looking at that kind of example. But that means Reject does win 30-10, and that ends today's fights. That's some really good ones overall. No blowouts, thankfully, nothing ridiculous. But there have been things that could have gone either which way, as you mentioned, in a lot of matches. It's been pretty contentious in the majority of them. And unfortunately, that means we have to take a little bit of a break as Tokyo Game Show is coming up. This is the results that we had thus far today. 30-20. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN is that nation FocusMe get that final game. The VARREL 10 points against ZETA's 30, and then we ended it off with Reject 30-10 against Hiroshima Team Itsuka.
It sets us up nicely for a pretty well-rounded 2nd through 6th place. At least for Division F. A little bit later on, we will definitely be determining some of the ranking positions for both divisions. But no need to do the calculation for Team Reject. They are definitely at the top of the charts if you consider how they performed last time they were up, right? They had the big W 30-10 over ZETA Division. They are currently sitting at 60 points, whereas everybody else is kind of hovering around 30-40. Boom, perfect. Just in time, too. Reject at 60, VARREL, ZETA, Hiroshima Team Iguza, FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN, all at 40 points apiece. And then DetonatioN FocusMe at the very bottom. Dude, this is looking very reminiscent of Season 1 and 2 for DetonatioN FocusMe. I'm actually kind of scared.
Oh, I know it's early, but it's not a good sign. At the very least, though, they are winning some games. They're not walking in without any points in their hands. But you're right. Like, we see them kind of starting at the bottom, and they have to claw their way up. And then by that point, it's like too late. Like, they'll make some big comebacks or big wins. But then at that point, they're either out of contention or they're so far behind that they'd have to be playing perfect, and it's impossible at that point. But yeah, you're not lying. This is kind of dicey for them if we're not, you know, going too far off the path there. This is the next schedule, though. When we return on the 19th, Crazy Raccoon versus NTP Oja, or Seoul going up against Good 8 Squad, and Fabu Gaming against CAG Osaka on the 19th.
Yeah, we are going to be taking a little bit of a break when we take a look at the schedule going forward with some of the slides after this. We have a big UFA happening this weekend, big CPT event over in France. But talking about it as well, we talked about after the break, Division F resumes 9:23 with DetonatioN FocusMe facing off against ZETA Division. FUKUSHIMA IBUSHIGIN versus Hiroshima Team Iguza, and then VARREL versus Reject. Hell yeah.
Bangers, bangers, bangers. It's been like that this entire time. No matter what team comes up, we have some of the most impactful Street Fighter 6 action you could ever ask for, and I feel like every season gets better and better, and I haven't lied yet. I have not lied yet. I feel like every match, even more so now in the beginning, has been fantastic. No matter what character comes up, I'm learning something new, I'm seeing something new. The matches have been ever so important. As we get closer and closer to that midway point, we're starting off strong for some of these teams, some of the other teams, not so much. It's time to pull up or shut up. Now, once again, as you mentioned, we are taking a short little break, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the interim, what players are going to be doing. Make sure you guys watch their streams, catch what they're doing, catch their CFN, and see how they train. And this is the schedule. Hit a screenshot so you get to this month, and next month's schedule for September and October. Sorry, Carl, there is going to be more September coming through. Sorry, brother. There is going to be more Street Fighter action in September after UFA, after the Street Fighter, or after Tokyo Game Show, We come back on the 19th for more action the 23rd and the 30th on September. October, we resume full force.
Kind of full force. We still have Evil France to consider, right? We also have, like Evil France is going to be like something crazy, that is for sure. We're going to have 2 World Warriors on the same month of October for Japan. World Warrior 2 and World Warrior 3, and then ending it out with the super premiere in Asia. It's going to be China in Chengdu specifically. So I definitely want to make sure to hit that up, whether we do it in person for like a broadcast, a rebroadcast from the States, or even like going there live. But either way, man. Very excited to see it.
UFA, as you mentioned, is this weekend. Tune in for this one. It's going to be fantastic to see that offline action, who qualifies for Capcom Cup, and who gets points. If you don't qualify, who gets that top spot, get as many points as possible. We're running out of offline tournaments. This is going to be the second to last one. Sorry, third to last one, excuse me. Because we're going to have the China tournament and Evo France first, and the China tournament after that. But this is going to be pivotal for a lot of players. It's getting about that time. We got to grind it out, or have to sit it out for the Capcom Cup.
Yeah, and I do believe Street Fighter 5 registration is now closed as of like a day and a half ago. So I hope you guys, if you plan to participate, have already done so and gotten your travel situations on lock. This is going to be an ecstatic weekend. UFA is going to be one of the biggest premieres to hit Europe, right? So I'm very, very excited to check it out. Another thing too, if you guys are going to be hanging out in the States, we will definitely be doing a rebroadcast to make sure that you guys catch it all live and in full effect too. So we're making sure to cover all bases.
Make sure everything is covered out here with the offline action. Again, as it gets closer towards that finale of Capcom Cup, it's going to get even more dangerous for all players out here, for the league, and the singles too as well. Catch all that action. I have to actually go watch back the World Warrior to see what happened out there for Goichi to have that significant win, which we didn't see him much today. But still, a lot of good things on the horizon for Street Fighter. As mentioned, C Viper over Tokyo Game Show. I'm looking at your Twitter 24/7. Hoping you drop everything and whoever else does, because even though I don't want to play the character, I just want to see her in action. I just want to see how she translates from Street Fighter 4 to Street Fighter 6. So it's been a bit. And, bro, I saw this on Twitter. They got me with the Capcom. The jacket, that thing is snug and very, very warm over at Capcom Cup. I don't know if this means that they're selling it at Fighting Arena or not, but regardless, maybe this means it's on sale. I'm not sure. But either way, tune in to Ultimate Fighting. They're going to be having their own broadcast too as well. The Japan side of things.
Very excited about it. UFA easily going to be the biggest event for Europe outside of Evil France, right? It's going to be directly tied to the CPT, to be very, very specific. But yeah, these jackets are actually pretty godlike with the quality and the artwork behind it as well. The Akuma and the Bison. I actually want to know what the next one's going to be like now that we have like a full roster of like the current season of characters that are going to be fully present, right? So very excited to see it. Everything that leads up into the big dance, you guys cannot miss any of it, right?
If I can make a suggestion, Capcom, put a little cigar on there, you know, good. Put some of that DLC up there. But we'll see what happens as we get closer to Capcom Cup. It's going to be a few months. But that's going to be it for us today for Street Fighter League play. Make sure to tune in once again to UFA, the rebroadcast, wherever you want to watch it. Make sure you hold it down. There's going to be more in the land of Japan and Street Fighter overall. So keep it locked and loaded either on the official Twitch, the official Twitters of ours, and Capcom as well for everything Street Fighter. You know, it's been a great time watching this action. I'm sad to have to take a little bit of a break, but at least we do get some Street Fighter play. If you haven't, watch the World Warrior. Watch the Japan World Warrior. 2,000 plus people out there is an insane feat for Goichi to win that. Don't grow up with Elena. I want to see how far he went with Elena or just that character. But if you haven't caught that, go back and watch the VODs. If you miss anything out here, watch the VODs as well. And just enjoy some Street Fighter, man.
Yeah, couldn't say it any other way, man. Big shout outs to Frida. Big shout outs to Storm Kubo's debut. Really excited and really happy to see them work together for Street Fighter League Japan. And also, big thank you for you guys staying up mad late or getting up pretty early, wherever and whenever you're tuning in from. We appreciate the hell out of you. That's gonna do it for all of us here. We appreciate you guys so much. We'll definitely see you at UFA, whether in the chat, whether on Twitter, etc. And then even further on, hopefully I can see you guys at Tokyo Game Show. But that's it for all of us. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you for the next one. Peace.
そして解説はストーム久保さんでお送りいたしました。久保さん本当にお疲れ様でした。
ありがとうございます。お疲れ様でした。
はい。この後は選手の音声入り本日のハイライト動画を流します。そちらもお楽しみに。それでは皆さんディビジョン S 第3節でお会いしましょう。さよなら。さあ準備が整ったようです。
いやこれもう時間使って
崩しました。それを見逃さないなまあ。東岡影代の前でフィニッシュました。
よくないな。はい
オッケー。ナイス。バッチリ。
嬉しい。
さあここから
次で終わりです。
打撃。さあこれで SS3 まで。
刻みに刻んだ。
さあ残り体力がわずか。この体力が持たない。
おっしゃー危ねえ。いた。ありがとうございます。皆さんありがとうございます。行きました。これ行くんすよ。よかった
から飛びにうまく差し返す形になった。さらには小技からのスター展開の速さで崩した鳥飯。飛びは落として
裏回り
しのいだ。クテク失敗。さあここは小技から残らない。
おおマジ鳥飯さんマジですか。
リベンジ
してくるがさあここでインパクト。
どん
最後パニッシャーまでしっかりとキャンセル。さあ決まり手はインパクト。
リベンジして
うわ頑張れこいつさん。やぶらしナイス
いやースリー何か変わっています。ハリケーン残った。
一度と立ちジャッケでチュア潰したいか。
水橋家です。おっとインパクト。さあ水葉が突然として牙を剥いた。激流の貴公子インパクトが決まり手です。
ナイス。い
やこれはしかし TS も歩いてきてる。
SA2 追撃含めたら行くでしょう。橋も見えてます。
SA 使い切っちゃう。ダッシュ走ってきた。
強気
後波動。おお
勝負いった今日9月9日やね。
今日で最終日ぐらいの気持ちで9月終わらせようと思います。
放射ドライバーわずか。新砲止めた。マッシュを止めた孫。さあここでゲラン来ました。
完走します。
さあ現在9時9分を迎えていますまだ9月9日9時9分。
まだ試合残ってるんですよ。これ
孫のスーパータイムのはず。うまく映り出したか。これは動いていない。
偉かったんだけどな。これ分からなかった。 SS
ここから不正
リバー打つかどうか。リバイミスチュクジョンテル。
ここで垂直を潰した光る。不正
リバー使った。
あ、ごめん
どんまい。
読んでる。
裏マジで見えない。
これは見えない。着地で裏回りでした。さあフード有言実行という形、響に対してターンを渡さず2セット目快勝となりました。
いやーよかった。
でうまく空対空を潰した時のガー打撃で崩したアーデリー。
これは SA2。
これはサイコキャノンまでしっかりとつながっています。追撃によってリーサル。追撃によってリーサル。
ありがとうございます。
投げている。投げる。あ、これ誰壊すか。
リゾット。
さあここで歩いての後ろ投げ。
もうインパクトでも耐えられないですからね。
ああ、さあ台形引っかかった。
うわー、判定ですね。そうなんだ。いやー、強かったな。さすがです。
マッチ3、
韓国戻っても大丈夫ですか。
エジプトが戦を破りました。おめでとうございます。